bum.
Bum
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 bum bum
bum
bum
bum
bum
bum
bum
bum
bum bum
bum
bum.
bum.
Oh, I wanna go
Home.
home. I'm tired and I wanna go to bed.
That's the best scene in the movie, I think.
Welcome back, Ciaffi. 3 times in a row.
In a row.
Yeah. We're
Is
here to
it?
talk about Jaws, uh, 21 Jump Street, and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
See, I last time you said that we were gonna disagree about Last Crusade. I think we were kind of in agreement with it, but I think Dial of Destiny we're gonna have a lot of disagreements with.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can just get right into it.
All right.
We saw this opening night. I think it came out. Oh, not
June.
opening night. Preview night actually.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
June
29th, I think.
29th.
Yeah.
29th. What you think?
I think it's a huge improvement from Crystal Skull. It definitely has flaws, but it's not very. I mean, it's not as CG heavy. I mean, it's at the beginning, but like it really isn't as CG heavy as Crystal Skull. I think it looks a lot nicer, a lot smoother. Like they're not in a green what's it called? Like those like green rooms or
Green screen? Like
well, yeah,
volume? The
it's like a whole
volume?
room though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell that they actually went to places. In Crystal Skull, they never went to Peru or wherever they. But this, they actually, I think, probably went. Where they
I,
go? Italy or what else was it?
they went to Sicily for sure. They
Yeah.
definitely look like the shots from The Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me of that. I don't know what other locations that looked.
No, they were not Morocco again, right? I think they're Morocco again.
Morocco? No, not Morocco.
No, it's Morocco, wasn't it?
Maybe. They were definitely in the Tangiers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As you can see, I don't really remember much of this movie. It is pretty forgettable, and yeah, I'm not a fan.
So
Not a fan of this film.
do you prefer it over Crystal Skull?
No, no,
Oh
no.
no,
Actually,
you
no,
don't.
I don't.
You don't.
Actually, no.
Wow.
I kind of like Crystal Skull better, and I'll get into like that specifically. But
Mm.
I'll tell you what I like about it. Okay, I'll be nice first.
All right, be
Okay,
nice.
Harrison Ford, great. He's great in it. Like you're really exploring the vulnerability of the character, which you never really do because he's kind of indestructible throughout all four of the movies. And you're finally seeing him break down a little.
Well, in this movie, in the beginning, he literally has nothing. Shia LaBeouf is dead. Spoilers: Shia LaBeouf is dead. He died in
Yeah,
Nam.
yeah.
Marion left him.
Hmm.
Now he's an old man,
Yeah,
very, very grumpy.
yeah.
You can tell now this is like, present day Harrison Ford. You know how he's always grumpy. Like this is like I feel like he wasn't really acting that much in this movie.
That's true. But like, no, I think he was. I think he really was. I think there's moments where he really was bringing out like,
Hey, what's up?
hey, Summer, up here. All right, and then the dog can stay. Hey.
Technical difficulties.
Okay. Sorry, there was some technical difficulties. My dogs came in and mauled Ryan over
No, it's
here.
okay. Yeah. They're cute. They're cute. They get the pass.
Sorry about that, Ryan.
No, you're fine.
But I guess I wasn't really finished with like my general thoughts with Dial of Destiny, so I'll get back into that. I just felt empty after watching it. Like what like a waste of time, really. Even more than the Crystal Skull, in my opinion. Let's start from the beginning.
All right.
Something that we both have kind of
Yeah,
contention
disagreements
on.
on, yeah.
The beginning is awful, in my opinion. It's awkward. The de-aging is weird. I think it's just not natural. It's paced weird.
Well, I mean, I actually do like this scene because, yeah, I mean, the only thing that they should have done is, I mean, maybe if they made this movie, in the current, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously it is current, but there probably is some kind of AI technology they could have used for his voice.
If you have Harrison Ford actually there, you're gonna have to use
Yeah,
him.
but
And
if
you probably wanted to use him too.
If
he
you
probably
use
in his contract.
If you use his AI voice though, it wouldn't be as, I mean, like
Jarring.
It wouldn't be as weird. It's like
His face is still very jarring, and they make like he doesn't really have too many quips or anything throughout the
Yeah.
scene, and it just doesn't feel right.
the Nazis again for like the third time.
I mean, it's World War II, whatever. Like
Yeah.
I have to get over it. This is clearly like a nostalgia movie, so they're gonna deliver the goods. That's why I really didn't mind the opening and concept. Nothing memorable about this scene. The only memorable thing was kind of like a really weird, awkward moment where I didn't know how to feel about it because, like, the bomb that drops doesn't explode. You see Harrison Ford's weird CG smirk, and then it dips and then explodes. The Nazis do nothing. It's very, like, awkward,
there
you
are
know?
some scenes though that feel like
And it's
old
not
Indiana Jones.
in the opening.
Yeah, like when he's pretending to be the Nazi, and there's like those two guys talking.
Yeah,
in
I mean that
German.
happens in Raiders when he
Yeah.
the boat, and it's like, yeah, sure. I don't. In my opinion, it didn't, and like it was a waste of time. Even when him and his partner jump off the moving train, we don't even see the shot. We see him jump off, and then we see a reaction shot of him coming up. Why didn't we see him jump off? And Spielberg would show them jumping off the fucking train into the water.
Who
like
directed this movie again?
James Mangold. I don't know much about him except the Wolverine movies. The first is the first two? No,
He
2 and
did
3.
Logan, right? Or
He did Logan and he
Logan's-
did the Wolverine. The one with when he's in like Japan or whatever.
Well, Logan's probably the best X-Men movie by far.
But I kind of really like X2 and Days of Future Past. I really like.
yeah, I've seen
And
Days of
First
Future
Class.
Past.
I don't honestly.
First Class is
I'm
kinda
an
miss.
X-Men guy. I really like the team dynamic.
No,
more
I
than,
am
like,
too.
Wolverine.
So I think I also like the first like solo Wolverine movie when
Really?
well, not the
The
Japanese
one with Deadpool?
Yeah, well, the one with Ryan, like
Really?
the original Deadpool. I mean,
Wow,
it's not Ryan
that
Reynolds.
movie is
bad.
movie is like
It's not that bad.
with Will.I.am.
What did Will.I.am play again? I've seen movies.
He's Gambit.
Oh yeah, he is Gambit. It's really not
It's-
that bad. No, I like the I'm trying to
It's
remember.
pretty bad.
It's been a while since I watched it.
It's pretty bad.
I mean, you also have de-aging in that movie. When you have Captain, not Captain, Professor X. Like you have Patrick Stewart. and
That was
he's-
weird.
That
was
I think
fucking weird.
That's probably the first
One of the first
de-aging-
ones.
I think it's older than the Jeff Bridges one.
Might be.
Yeah.
But they've been trying to replace actors way back when. You can go back to like Game of Death after Bruce Lee died. They literally in one shot, filmed a mirror, had a body double, and put his cardboard face of Bruce Lee on the mirror, and made it seem like that was him in a shot.
Have you seen The Sopranos?
Yeah, the mother.
Yeah, mother.
After the mother
That
died.
shit
Yeah.
is so weird. Like
There's
watching
scenes.
it.
I don't know if you ever seen Gladiator. Have you seen
Yeah.
Gladiator?
Oh yeah.
There's
When the
You know that one?
yeah. I know what you mean. I forget the actor's name that died, but
Yeah, that's also CG too.
Yeah.
So they've been doing it before we were even born. I don't know. In The Irishman, it was convincing because of the performances, and like it felt like it was just makeup. It didn't feel like CG. You know, it did feel weird, but it didn't feel artificial. You know what I mean? This felt artificial, and that's like the worst thing
but at least like
because it's Indiana Jones. You know?
Harrison Ford's playing a 40-year-old. Wasn't Robert De Niro playing like a 30-year-old?
No, he's playing
And-
like a 40-year-old.
Okay.
You know, he had kids too.
But his kids were young though. That's the thing. Like he.
I think he started at 40 up until maybe late 30s at least. I mean, yeah. So, but like it was convincing to me, and they used a different technique. They used like a 3-camera thing, and every scene was specifically curated for that. And it was a different company. I think it was Peter Jackson's company, not Lucasfilm, who honestly like also been doing this before this. You know, Tarkin, which was weird.
Well, I remember. I think the most notable, like the first one was in Rogue One with Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, that's also in
Yeah.
Tarkin. Yeah.
But I actually saw that movie like the day she died. Like and that they had like
yeah,
the
it was
CG.
crazy. But the opening scene as a whole, you liked it?
I liked it. I mean, the only thing.
You could have cut the whole thing, honestly.
Well, the villain, I don't know the actor's name. He's the same villain
Mads
from
Mikkelsen.
Casino Royale. Same guy.
Also,
But-
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
He plays this is
He's a very villain
type
guy.
of his ballpark.
But when he gets hit by that pole, how he had no scar, no injuries.
It would have been missed opportunity to have like a really disgusting disfigurement. You know that
They
he could
have
have
no
had.
explanation how he survived. He's just he's just alive.
He says, I think Indiana Jones says, "Your name rings a bell," because he got hit with a bell.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
That was. There's some funny lines here. I'll give it credit for that. That's why I love Harrison Ford in this movie. The indie girl You want to get into her?
She's better than Willie. So
No.
much better than Willie.
No.
Yeah,
I like the performance. Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Yeah, I like her. I think she's she's fun. She's hot, but she's an asshole to Indy, and I don't understand why Indy even helps her out at all.
Well, because
like she's not redeemable in my opinion.
I mean, they're kind of family. Isn't he her godfather or something?
Yes, but like she portrays him several times, makes fun of his age, has no compassion for him when his friend dies.
Yeah.
She's an asshole, and I don't. That's another thing with this. We'll get into the ending too, but at the end when she makes the big decision, like
the ending was kind of ass.
Yeah.
I hated the ending.
I just did not. I think she's one of the worst characters. Like as a character for Indy, I think she's one of the worst.
Worse
characters.
Than Mac, worse than Willie.
Not worse than Mac, because at least this character had a good performance,
And then what do you think of the short round replacement? I forget the kid's
that
name.
fucking diet short round, great value short round. Not a fan.
I mean,
I don't want to be mean because like he's probably
like
young.
a kid, yeah, he's like.
But like I
12
was
years
just
old.
not a fan of the performance. Kind of dull.
I don't remember his name at all.
Yeah, maybe it's because Spielberg is just good at directing kids. I always harken back to Henry Thomas and E.T. Fucking iconic. What else in the movie?
There's that one scene with
You like the
So when
horse
he's-
chase?
Oh, which one?
The horse chase?
I'm trying to remember it. Oh, is this in?
Wow!
Was
Wow!
this in Morocco when they had?
No, this was in New York City.
Oh yeah, during.
You talked about how this movie didn't look like CG. First off, the whole opening act looked like Polar Express. There's a moment where there's literally a moment where
we talked about this.
There's literally a moment where they're on top of the train, and there's another person coming out of the fog, and
Like the ghost.
I thought that was the homeless ghost from Polar Express. It's so funny.
I mean, Polar Express. I think.
But like the CG did not look convincing at night. Even at night, come on. Like the CG did not look convincing at all in a lot of the moments in action sequences, in my opinion. And it's started off at the opening scene. But like back to the horse chase that you forgot.
No, because you know why? Because it's been like 2 weeks, and
2
I
weeks.
saw it once.
Oh yes.
Crystal Skull I've seen like 5
but
times.
Like
so
you will remember Crystal. You remembered Crystal Skull. Like you remembered.
Bad. Like this movie is not bad. It's not good. It's just okay.
That's terrible. That's the worst sin ever. And like Crystal Skull, it has bad moments, but I do think like most of the action sequences, most of them, not the jungle sequence, but most of the action sequences are actually fun because it's Spielberg doing it.
Yeah.
Not the dick ride, but like he is literally one of the best.
Oh yeah. Well, we even talk about how they didn't do like the Paramount remember how you were saying, I wonder how they're gonna do the
they had
Paramount
the logo,
Mountain.
but they didn't have the that was probably some legal bullshit.
After like the train sequence,
yeah,
and then Indy's just at home and he's old. Like before, like everything goes downhill.
Yeah,
I like seeing him old, and I just like the whole him in this new decade. I mean, almost a 70. I think it's 69 because
the moon landing.
Moon landing. So it's just seeing him in this new decade where things have a lot has changed since 57.
See him in New York is weird too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a city guy. It's like weird. Like he's just an actual person. Like that's like I said, this like you see a lot that you don't see in other films because he's so older, so like far in life that you get to look at more of his college career. Like we've always been talking about. We never see he must be an awful professor, but he seems to be very passionate about what he's talking about when he's explaining stuff, and no one gives a shit. Yeah, but it's kind of sad. That's the part I wish they hammered more about.
Oh, we never talked about too that he's like wanted for murder in this movie.
Oh yeah,
and they never like resolve it.
Yeah, the plot's very basic. Like they add certain stuff, but overall it's just like a big chase, and like the crew changes, sequentially if they die or they leave. Sala makes a return, has a nostalgia thing. They tease him coming with him.
Yeah, and they're like, no.
Oh no, like why do that? Why do that? It's annoying. They
That's for the trailer probably.
Yeah. Yeah, you go get him, Indiana Jones. Yes, definitely for the trailer, for sure. The villains. They tried to make them like 3-dimensional, but I don't think it worked too much.
Yeah,
like the black chick.
Well,
I didn't.
She's not really a villain. She's CIA, isn't she?
Yeah, but like she's an antagonist throughout the first act of the
Yeah.
movie. She's chasing Indiana Jones, you know.
But
You're not supposed to be like, yeah, go get Indiana Jones, you know.
She died way too early.
Keep it basic with the villains in Indiana Jones. This is just a friendly reminder that we have an Instagram page and you should definitely go follow it. Stop by. Operation Paperclip, there's a big thing with, like, you know, Mads Mikkelsen's character working with NASA with the moon and stuff like that. Stuff that actually did happen in real life.
But the thing is, like, the plot's kind of confusing. Like, yeah, he wants to go back in time, but he wants to replace Hitler. He's like, oh, I can
He can
win
do it
the
better.
war for. But I feel that's just. I think it's a dumb plot.
That's just arrogance, you know?
Yeah.
He's just arrogant. And, like, he's a Nazi, and, you know? I think that type of culture breeds arrogance, you know? So he thinks he can do it better than the leader. So I don't know. It's out there.
So yeah, the ending when So I mean, our prediction was obviously true. There's time travel in the movie.
At the moment when they were going into that wormhole, that was like when the movie actually interests me the most. And the movie was actually starting to get really good, because it was good when they went into that temple at the end, and he was like, it felt like an Indiana Jones movie. It felt like we're back again. Right when he was about to get into the portal, though, like you had no idea, like the possibilities were going through your head, like you didn't know where it was going, and it was felt really exciting. And what do you say you were about to think what was going to happen?
So, I mean, I thought they were going to go back in time,
Uh-huh.
because the whole movie, Indiana Jones was like, I wish I could have told my son not to go to Vietnam. And I thought they were going to have Shia LaBeouf, right, time travel to whenever he went to Nam, like early 60s.
But if you know Shia LaBeouf, you know that he would not be in this film. That's the thing. Like they would have to recast him, and I think that. Like,
or maybe CG his face also.
Legally, I think he would have done something.
Do it. But yeah, I thought they were gonna, have him go to whenever his son was telling him that he was going to Nam, and I thought he was like probably like go to like that conversation, and then he probably just would have watched it happen and not change anything. Maybe. I mean, like he would have like seen,
Have you seen Men in Black 3?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I'm trying.
He sees his dad die.
Oh.
Right in front of him.
Yeah.
And he does nothing about it. And then Kay comes in, he flashes him, and then he turns, and it's a loop, and that's why they know about him in the first one.
Yeah.
Men in Black 3, underrated, I gotta say.
I think the whole series is underrated, honestly.
I don't remember the second one. That's the one that, like, I'm just like...
I think I saw the second and third one maybe once.
This third one really got me, because that ending is, like, really, like, it fucks with your head. I love time travel.
Yeah.
And this one really just fumbled the ball with the time travel shit. He looked like shit. It looked like some fucking theater play, fucking Roman history. It didn't look good. It didn't look gritty. It needed to look real.
But what I thought was gonna happen was I thought they'd make do a time paradox where they give Archimedes the dial.
Oh, and that's why, yeah.
That would have been more interesting.
But he has to finish it, because he takes the dial.
Yeah, but I'm a fan of there's this one show called.
And honestly, first relic that he takes for himself in the whole movies.
True. Yeah, I mean,
I think that's why they wanted him to take that relic, because he finally has something for him, and finally can put up the hat, even though they don't really say that in the last shot. But...
Well, I mean, he does put up the hat though.
And then he rips it out.
When him and Marion are fucking,
Oh, he puts it on when he's okay. I guess that's what he means when he's going on an adventure now.
I like when they have these time paradoxes when like, oh, how did they get the thing? But no, the person in the future gave them the thing, and that's how they got the thing.
Like Back to the Future does that. I mentioned Men in Black does that. A lot. Basically, a lot. It's a time travel trope, basically, and I was surprised they didn't do it here. But like I said, they did it because they wanted Indiana Jones to finally get his relic, and we can talk about the ending.
Do you think he should have stayed there?
No, I just found it weird overall. Like, I get why he wanted to stay there, but like, it was just like, first, like he was shot, so you, as an audience member, you felt like he was woozy, and he just was like, I felt like he thought he was hallucinating it all, and he just wanted to. But like, that's what I mean. Like, I was very confused of it all. Like, was I supposed to feel like, oh, he belongs here. This is where he belongs. I don't know. I really don't know. It was a very confusing ending. It just didn't feel right. And then to have, what's her name?
Helena.
Helena.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it is Helena.
She literally punches him. And
Yeah,
so
have her make the
hard,
decision.
but so hard that he's out for like a
How?
day.
Where do they go? This is stupid to think about and speculate, but like, where? What happens after that? He knocks him out. Where do they go?
So I mean, that one
Does the
kid was flying.
Right? Okay, yeah, that's why he wanted.
He
to
learned
with him.
flying by himself somehow, but yeah, I think he flies behind them, and then I guess they fly back into the wormhole, leave everyone else there. And what did you think of Marion coming in and then like the last minute? I think she's one of the
yeah, and okay, to have this crazy ass ending and then to end it off on like a cheap nostalgia thing. I'm not gonna lie. I ate it. I ate the bait. Like it was sweet.
Yeah.
But like in hindsight, the scene doesn't really mean much besides a callback and like, oh look, Salah's back, and when he exits the door, let's have him sing nostalgia. Remember how he did it in Raiders? I don't know. It felt kind of cheap and felt kind of like last minute. Like it had nothing.
Nothing to do with
Nothing.
anything.
Like if this ending was attached to like a really heartfelt story that. I guess that's not the ending's fault. I guess that's the rest of the movie's fault.
Yeah, but out of nowhere they're back together again. Like
what happens?
They had no
she left
story
him
behind that, and then she's back.
Too
now.
easy of a resolution. Just felt very rushed. Felt like a reshoot. Might have been a reshoot.
Maybe. But I feel like a death of a child can definitely damage a relationship. So I get that, but. Then they're just fine. I don't know. They're like, oh, Shia LaBeouf.
This was like, and that's the thing with this movie. That's the worst offender. Like this was a worse ending somehow than Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
It managed to be worse. Like, why did we? At the end of the day, why did we need to see this? I thought it was the worst one in the series. To be honest with you, I honestly think the action sequences in Crystal Skull are better. Besides the stupid jungle chase, but and like the CG, like I said, they're shitty in both, so it really doesn't matter. And aliens, I buy aliens in the series.
More than time travel?
Well, time travel is also really stupid, but like that didn't bother me. The concept didn't bother me. It was the execution.
Yeah.
I just didn't really like. Everything was cool. Like I was so excited to see what was beyond that wormhole, and then it just kind of was a bust, and I really didn't like it. Also, Antonio Banderas, why cast him in this movie?
Yeah, he was in it for what, in 10 minutes. He's in they're in Greece.
Yeah. What was that scene too? They go underwater, they see the eels, call back to the snakes. Yeah. That's it. There was a great movie in here. You just cut out a bunch of shit. It's also the longest movie in the series.
Yeah, it felt really.
Why?
It was like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
It felt so
long.
It was
so long. They were going. It felt the same, repetitive. And we forgot to mention like a bunch of forgettable car chases. To be honest with you.
Oh, there was one. So was that Morocco? I think it's Morocco.
There was one that was pretty good where they were riding like these golf cart looking things. It felt like Indiana Jonesy. It kind of reminded me of like Temple of Doom a little bit.
I mean, also they're in the desert. You need the desert at least one time.
Well, yeah, but it did remind like it's a city chase, and I like there was a moment where they hit the straws, and the guy like. I'm grabbing straws.
I'm trying to remember.
Thinking of things that were good in this movie. There was no. It just felt soulless.
It was a great pleasure to play this character. I'm ever so grateful for the opportunity that I had at the beginning of this and the opportunities that I've had throughout this experience playing this character. All it takes is to put on the leather jacket, the hat, hang a whip from my belt, and look in the mirror and, Indiana Jones.
We forgot to rate the former Indiana Jones films. There's toilet paper, VHS, Blockbuster, Blu-ray, and then collectible. It's a 5-tier system.
All of them? All right, so I'll do Raiders for Raiders, collectible.
Okay.
Temple of Doom, collectible.
Okay.
Last Crusade, Blockbuster.
Okay.
Crystal Skull, VHS.
Okay.
Dial of Destiny, VHS.
Okay. I would do the same.
I'll do the same as that thing. Yeah.
So, on our previous episode, we talked about Indiana Jones. I wanted to clear things some up because I said some things wrong, and also we had some things that like misconceptions.
Yeah.
The basket thing, like how did Marion?
Oh yeah.
They purposely set that up for Indy to be confused that Marion, because if you really go back, it took me like 6 times to really look back and see what was actually going on. Okay. They have her. He follows him. They have another guy ready right next to the like Marion. They go they go left, and then the other guy goes straight. So Indy thinks before Indy gets around to give a look, and they shoot him. They shoot him with the Tommy gun too. Remember?
Yeah.
So he doesn't get a look at to see where Marion went, and then
How
all
do you
he
notice
does.
that?
It literally took me 6 times to see what was going on. So that's why they shot the Tommy gun, so he couldn't see that they switched baskets, and there were, it was a truck full of explosives. That's
Yeah.
why it exploded.
I would have never noticed that. It kinda reminds-
Marion and Indy's relationship.
Yeah.
When they talk about their love life in Raiders, she says, "I was a child. I was in love. It was wrong, and you knew it."
Yeah, she had to be like 15, 16 years old because she's like what, like
Statutory
late
rape Indiana Jones?
Yeah, she's like what, maybe late 20s in this movie. Let's say like 27, 28 maybe.
And then he replies with, "You know what you were doing." Wow.
Because he's a lot old. He has to be at least like 10 years older than she is. Well, do you know what that also reminds me of? Like in Raiders when with the basket. Remember in was it the last no, Rise of Skywalker when Chewbacca died? Remember that?
Yeah, it was a fake out death.
But like, I still don't know how. I watched the movie once, but I don't know how they did that. It was
Oh,
like, it was
yeah.
like one of those. Like, they
That's
never
fair.
explain it.
That's fair. That is very similar. But like I felt that was that was very cheap. And they revealed it like literally the scene
Right after.
afterwards.
But
it
they
wasn't
never,
even.
But they never show like how. So that he goes on the ship and then it explodes, but then he's okay. They never
He
show-
was just on a different ship. But one thing Indiana Jones could have done to stop Max Mikkelsen from stealing the Dial of Destiny,
What could have you done?
showing him a copy of 21 Jump Street. Helps Kanye out.
Down on Jump Street. 37 Jump Street. No, that doesn't sound right. Is it?
Wait, first off, have you seen this movie?
Not. I watched it for the first time yesterday.
Okay.
But I knew a lot of. Well, I
What you know going into it besides the Kanye West thing?
so I didn't know which movie had the My Name Is Jeff. See,
Right.
I was kind of disappointed it wasn't in this movie.
Right.
I was waiting for him, like, oh, I know it's like the famous,
Yeah.
My Name's Jeff,
But
but
think about, I know it's a blur and it's been so long, but like that came around middle school.
yeah.
The first movie came out 2012. We were still in elementary
Well,
school.
no.
So think
middle-
about when that was
yeah,
popular, that Vine humor and shit like
Yeah.
that. We were around like what?
like fifth
third-
grade, sixth
yeah.
grade. Yeah,
No, it
we
was
were-
like it was like 6th, 7th grade when we thought that was funny. My name is Jeff was like a huge like
Vine, yeah.
Kids, if you don't know what Vine is, it was basically TikToks before TikToks were a thing.
Vine
honestly.
was so TikTok
But like
could run.
the TikTok could only last 6 seconds. People blame TikTok for like our attention spans.
It's definitely Vine.
It was definitely Vine was kind of the predecessor to that.
I know the TV show with Johnny Depp. I never watched it.
Yeah, I didn't know it was based on a TV show. When it
Yeah,
first
I
came
know
out.
the TV show.
Did you watch it?
No, I never. I just knew about it.
Mhm.
I knew I knew
He makes a cameo.
Well,
in
I
this.
know, yeah. So he's at the end of this movie, but I know that what was I gonna say? I know that Ice Cube was in it.
Yeah.
I knew that what's her name? Erin from The Office is in it, and that's about it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
How did you know that
you're-
Erin from The Office was
Well, I
in
know
it? She
you're
has like a
huge-
little
I
part
know
in
you're a
it.
huge Office guy, so
Yeah.
But I just knew. I don't know why. I knew
Yeah.
it.
I mean, this was like a classic. This was like middle school film canon for me. This was like one of the first raunchy comedies I've ever seen in theater, so like it was like a big deal.
Isn't this Channing Tatum's first like comedy movie? Because he was
I don't know.
like,
I've never seen Magic Mike. I don't know if that's a comedy.
But
I
I
really
think-
don't know much about his career. Besides, both of them are in Tarantino movies. Jonah Hill is in Django as a Klansman, and Channing Tatum is in Hateful Eight as Jody. Is it Jody? Yeah, Jody Demingray.
Well, I mean, with Django though, I actually recognized it was him right away, being Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
Like, his voice is so recognizable.
Mhm.
And speaking of Jonah
I
Hill,
think Tarantino must have been a fan because
Yeah.
those two movies, those Tarantino movies, were in between Jump Street and the two Jump Street movies.
But I heard somewhere that before this movie, Channing Tatum was in a lot of rom-com movies. Like he was a huge rom-com guy. They mention a lot in this movie how attractive he is.
Yeah,
And he was like a Hollywood heartthrob.
he's like the
before this
classic hunk. Have you ever seen American Pie?
Yeah.
You know that blonde guy? What's his name? He's
I
in
don't
Role
remember any
Models.
Oh, I don't remember his
You
name.
remember
Though. I know
that
I know who
guy?
you mean.
He's like that. He's like that guy. I'll put his. I gotta look it up.
No, I know him. I don't know anyone's name.
He's in
American
Final
Pie.
Destination as well. Remember?
Oh, the one that has the Stan hair.
No, 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 no.
Because when you
Yeah,
say
I know.
Final
You're thinking.
Destination,
Yeah, you're
the
thinking
guy
of
from Stan.
what's his name? Devon Sawa.
Yeah.
That's not him. Sean William Scott. I knew
Sean
he had
Williams.
like a
Three
weird
first names.
three name thing. He's like a that guy, you know. I don't watch rom-coms, so
Yeah.
I can tell you if he's in any of those.
This is like his intro to like the male audience. Like obviously men can enjoy rom-coms,
Yeah.
but but I feel like
I'm
this
not
is
sure
kind
if
of
Magic. I
his
think
introduction.
Magic Mike is like obviously made for females, but I think it's
that's
actually
even
like,
after.
it's like a serious.
I think that came after this.
Oh really?
This
Might
is
have been.
2012. Magic Mike was like 2015.
Let's look at his IMDb. Did you like Jonah Hill in this though?
Oh yeah, I think Jonah. I don't think Jonah Hill has a bad movie.
One of the best comedic actors of our time, honestly.
And
He's-
this
I-
came out right before Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, yeah, he's hilarious in that too. I honestly think Wolf of Wall Street
This
is
is his
most
best
of the times
movie.
a comedy. But Jonah Hill is also great in like Don't Look Up. So like he's always like good,
Yeah.
even in bad. This is the End,
Mm.
and of course Super Bad.
That's his. I mean that and Wolf of Wall Street are his best movies by far.
All right, so Magic Mike came out the same time as same year.
Same year.
So that was like his breakout year, I guess. But before that, yeah, a lot of rom-coms, The Vow, Dilemma.
Because he doesn't really have.
She's the man.
Yeah, he doesn't really have a love interest in this movie.
Step Up. He's also in Step Up too. So yeah, he's definitely chick flicks in his early career.
I don't want to say that because I feel like Mean Girls can be called a chick flick. We had this
Yeah, but
conversation.
there are, I'm not saying it as a bad thing, even
Yeah.
though a lot of these movies look very,
chick
questionable
flicky,
questionable in quality. Like there's one called Supercross. It looks like a motocross like rom-com. He's also in the Lego movie. Jonah Hill. They're both in the Lego movie.
Which
Jonah
one?
Hill plays Green Lantern, and Channing Tatum plays Superman.
I feel like that movie has a lot of celebrities in
Phil
it.
Lord, Chris Miller. They're the directors of 21 Jump Street
Mhm.
and 22 Jump Street. They also directed the Lego movie and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Mm.
And they're the writers of Spider-Verse. So they have their hands
A
in
lot
a
of
lot of
animation.
things. Pretty influential. Did you like this movie though?
Oh,
What did you think about it?
I thought it was good. I mean, I think the beginning was extremely rushed.
Yeah. I was about to say that's one thing I noticed. Like their relationship is established extremely
Yeah,
quickly,
it's like
and
4
I kind of
minutes
don't
in,
buy
they're best
it.
Friends, yeah.
I kind of don't like looking because I try to look at it from a newcomer this time around because I
Yeah.
knew you were watching for the first time, and I was like, wow, I would not buy these guys if I was watching it right now for the first time.
Well, I mean, I'm so used to their dynamic together because
Because you've seen so many clips and stuff like
it's been
that.
around for like 11 years.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, sometimes I
Culturally,
didn't
this
buy it.
movie's pretty big,
Yeah.
honestly.
No, yeah, I've obviously known about it for a very long time. Just never really had the chance to watch it. But I bought it. But if I was watching for the first time when it came out, I'd be like, why are they friends so quickly?
It opens up with the
Yeah.
real Slim Shady in 2005. Well, this is my theory. Because Jonah Hill explains that they were going to use another Eminem song in the opening that came out. Well, I mentioned 2005 because Eminem didn't want that song to be used in the movie because he wanted everyone. He was not a fan of it, apparently. This is what Jonah Hill explains in the commentary track. My theory is, have you ever heard the song Thack?
Yeah.
I think they were going to use that song to open up the movie. That would have been hilarious. Jonah Hill actually looked like that, by the way.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when did Superbad come out? 2007?
Yeah.
So, okay, I guess.
What? They aged him up. Because,
Uh-huh.
I don't think Jonah Hill was a teenager in 2005.
Yeah, he was like
70-year-old virgin. A 70-year-old.
40-year-old
Wow, that's a
virgin.
whole different movie. 40-year-old virgin. He's in it.
Who-
Hi, can I buy these boots? No, this is an eBay store.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
him. That's him. Yeah, he doesn't look like.
Is that how you met Seth Rogen?
I think, yeah. I think he's.
This is kind of a tangent. You know how I am with tangents. But
Yeah.
How would you rate
The
Eminem's discography like throughout the years?
And
Was that one like reggae album he has?
reggae album?
Yeah. It's,
What?
wait. Oh,
Back
yeah,
in the day.
Relapse.
Relapse.
That's
Reggae.
it's like
He has
only a
that
reggae
accent.
album.
It's not a reggae album.
Well, it
He
sounds
has-
like a
he ha-
reggae
He has
album.
an accent.
He's
He
like
has-
doing like
He has a weird accent.
stereotypical
I
Jamaican
wouldn't call
accent.
it. I wouldn't call it a reggae album. That's crazy. They called it a reggae album. But I actually kind of liked that one. It was kind of like as a kid, like it was kind of like crazy. I don't know how good it holds up. Revival's at the bottom.
Yeah.
How about that? I'll put Kamikaze. I don't really remember much of the songs there.
He stole the Beastie Boys album art for that.
Yeah, which is also like weird
Yeah.
too. I felt like it was just a reaction to Revival,
Mhm.
and it was just like complaining about, oh, you guys don't like you guys only listen to mumble rap, blah 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 blah. It was kind of annoying. I think that
Yeah,
biggest hit was like Joyner Lucas, that one with Joyner Lucas, and no one
I
remembers.
don't remember any of the album, to be honest.
Music to be murdered by. I don't know. I like the features. Some of the features are good.
Well, I
Like
like
Godzilla. I kind of like that
Juice
one.
WRLD, yeah.
There's a few other good songs on there that I kind of liked.
It's
I
very
would-
bloated, too.
Yeah, I would put Recovery down there. I know people like that one, but like, bro, Spacebound is trash.
It only has
that,
two good songs on that album.
This one is the one, like all the rest of the Eminem albums I remember like fondly.
Yeah.
Like I remember like clearly. I mean, so like I can clearly point out the bad songs in Recovery, and the bad songs in Recovery are like awful, and like they're like awful in like a pop way. It's not like awful cringe like Encore. There's a lot of cringy and weird.
I
But, like-
honestly prefer
But like the pop
Recovery
shit,
over
the
Encore.
pop Recovery shit is like Spacebound. I can't stand. Like the days are gone without you. I
mean-
forgot what song that is. There's a song where he's singing like that, and it's
Love
so
the Way You
bad.
Lie is really good, though. I love the Way You Lie.
It's nostalgic. I'll give
Yeah.
you that. Not Afraid doesn't hold up.
No.
Doesn't
Does
hold
not.
up.
But I actually prefer Recovery over
Shout out Justin De Niro and that poster he had in his basement of,
Oh, he had
of
a poster
Eminem. It was
of-
a Not Afraid poster
Oh, wow.
of Eminem. But yeah, after Recovery, I would go Encore, then Relapse, then Marshall Mathers LP2, then
So what, Relapse
Eminem.
above Encore? Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Dre beats on Relapse. Like it's just wacky, crazy beats that I enjoy. Like the beat on Bagpipes from Baghdad, and then Eminem Show, Slim Shady LP.
And then Marshall
no,
Mathers- no.
Marshall Mathers LP, Slim Shady
Really?
LP. Yeah,
I think
I
think Marshall Mathers
going
LP is
back
better.
though, I'm a sucker for like a struggling artist,
Yeah.
and he like going back to the Slim Shady LP, like that's the only Eminem album where he is like the good guy or like the protagonist, where he's not just being an asshole calling out people just for the hell of it and being a villain like Slim Shady. You know, even though it's called the Slim Shady LP, but it's like
Well,
it's
his alter
easier
ego.
it's easier to like empathize with him as an artist at that point of his life, because he's rapping about his struggles and it's just dark and frustrating. And then Marshall Mathers LP is more about like his reaction to the fame and all that
Well, yeah, I
stuff.
was
And
gonna say-
I can't relate to that shit. So like I really don't, you know.
Well, I was gonna say like there's some shady LP, like he's using obviously a fake name, but now he's famous. He's like, okay,
Yeah,
my name is
Marshall
Marshall
Mathers,
Mathers.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even though Marshall Mathers has like I would say has the better songs, but as an album, Slim Shady LP just feels more cohesive, you know, because you have Kim on there,
Yeah.
which is like, I'm sorry, that song should not exist.
Real. Well,
I know, I get it. It's very
Yeah.
passionate, but like
oh, how about
within
Stan?
the album, and Stan too. Why is it? I love Stan.
Yeah.
Love that song. It's like one of his best songs. Why is it the second song on the album?
Should
You
be
don't
like
st-
the one of the
should
last
be one of the
ones.
last songs, or should be like in middle or something.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be the second song after Kill You. Like it's weird. It's weird. The sequencing is weird, and but like you do have Real Slim Shady, which let's bring it back to 21 Jump Street. First act wise, what stand out? Did you know that Brie Larson was in the movie?
I honestly didn't recognize
Kind of
her.
unrecognizable,
Well,
right?
I mean, this is after Scott Pilgrim, which is probably one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
And that's probably her best movie. I mean, even though she's not really like the main
Yeah.
character. I don't know. She just. I don't
She
wanna
looks
sound
young in
weird.
this.
She looks, but Scott Pilgrim came out first, and I recognized her in that. But in this movie, I don't. She
They
looks
dress.
different.
Okay, I'm gonna say it. They uglier her up
Yeah.
a little bit.
Well,
in this
I
movie.
wasn't gonna say that, but yeah.
Not, I'm not gonna say uglier her up, but like they make her look natural and not like a movie star.
Yeah.
And she looks significantly younger as a result. Like they have her in like dress gowns and stuff like that. Like what a theater would be wearing like in high school, and not a hot ass like white jumpsuit. Of course she's gonna look better in that than she is here. I kind of like their chemistry with Jonah Hill. She like, you know, like I believe it, even though like
It's kind of weird how he's falling in love with a teenager, though.
it's weird, yeah, right.
It kind of reminds me of. You're also an Office fan when Andy's dating the high schooler.
That was hilarious. When he finds out too, it's so funny because
Yeah.
he's like, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
Like he does,
Yeah, I go to
he doesn't
school
put
here.
two and two together. Speaking of Office alumni, you mentioned
Yeah.
was Erin from The
I
Office.
think she's supposed to be the love interest for Channing Tatum's movie, kind of.
She's funny in this. Like I just
Yeah.
want to check your test.
Yeah. she's
I'm not a fan of Erin in The Office. That might be a hot take,
I
but like
actually
I'm not
Erin
a
a
fan
lot.
of.
I know she's annoying, but
her.
I think
What's your case for Erin?
I think she's like the Pam for Michael before he leaves, because like
Yeah,
Pam becomes
but like afterwards, what happens to her afterwards?
yeah,
Like
well, yeah,
season,
well,
it's
no,
so
Andy becomes the worst character, and
yeah,
it's kind of her fault.
yeah. That's what I mean. Like it just like that whole with Andy and that whole storyline. Anyone attached to that storyline, I just like don't like at all.
Because I love Andy, but then like he becomes the worst character. Because did you? I don't. You probably know this, that the writers made him terrible because of
The Hangover.
The
That's why he
Hangover.
left. He left.
Yeah.
He left on that boating trip because he was filming The Hangover. I think part 3 or whatever, or part
yeah,
2.
and then
And then he
make him the
comes
worst
back,
character.
and then that's why he becomes the worst character. And he gets fired, and that's the end. And then he gets
Well, yeah, and then the reunion
Aud-
episode,
auditions, he
he's
comes
like
back.
known as like the shit guy or whatever.
they
they
really
ruined
shat on
it.
his character. Yeah. I like her in this though. There's a couple other ones that people show up. Police officer, who that guy is in everything.
Who?
But the police chief that says, "Well,"
Oh, Nick Kroll from Parks and Rec.
I wrote it on here. Parks
Yeah.
and Rec guy.
Yeah.
Gives
Oh,
a standard monologue. Yeah.
Wait, so you're a big fan of The Office? You've never seen Parks and Rec?
No.
Really?
Nope.
Parks and Rec is arguably better than
Yeah.
The Office.
I know he's in The Last of Us too. I heard
Yeah.
he was good in that.
Have you seen Last of Us?
No. I don't-
Because he falls in love with the manager from White Lotus.
Dude, the manager from White Lotus is fucking hilarious.
Like yeah, he's in Last of
So
Us.
good.
Him and Nick Kroll are
Have you seen White Lotus?
yeah
Both of them?
yeah about both seasons.
Season 2, man.
Season
Season 2 is some of the best television of all time. I gotta say.
I don't like the I
blew me
don't
away.
like the ending though. When they kill Jennifer Coolidge. Spoilers by the way.
Bro, that's the best fucking part. I laughed out hysterically. I was like, yes, this is how you kill her. She's such a she's such a
so
klutz.
annoying, but I didn't know that they were gonna kill. I had no
That was
idea.
that the way she like that's the way the character should go, with no dignity at all, because that character has no
She literally
dignity at
just
all.
smashed her head on the boat.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
And like you think at the beginning of the movie, you think at the beginning of the series like, oh shit, what exciting thing, and it's
Yeah.
literally like she shoots everyone. She's this close to getting away.
Yeah, she just
and
slips.
it's so I think it's funny. I think it's a big like just because the character's an idiot, but that's
No,
besides the
But
point.
I honestly love like I don't know what I prefer, season 1 or season 2. I think they're both really good.
I think season 1's a little bit like I've seen the eat the rich shit too much already. Like
Yeah.
I've seen like The Menu, I've seen Glass Onion, I've seen all that shit. Like there's a bunch of Triangle of Sadness. There's been a lot of that stuff lately, like commenting on rich people.
The one guy's from The Office. The
Oh yeah, fake John,
Fake
fake Jim. But in the second season, it was just a lot more interesting. It was about like relationships.
Yeah.
And that to me is a lot more.
And then Parks and Rec, you have Audrey Plaza in there.
That's true. Yeah.
She kills it. You have
I like
Michael
Michael Imperioli.
I love when he messes up the address. He's like 32 Jump Street.
Right.
Oh, that doesn't sound right.
And we meet Ice Cube. Very.
He's in so many cop
Scary.
movies. It's great. Him and Ice-T are like rappers who become like in almost every cop movie or TV show.
I know Ice-T is like
And
the
Law and
Law and
Order.
Order guy, but Ice Cube, I don't know. I remember him from Are We There Yet mostly
Oh, that's
as a kid.
No,
Are We Done Yet?
Are we there? Are we done yet? Are we there yet? I think is there
A
another
recency,
one?
no,
No.
should be a trilogy. Friday's a trilogy. I
Yeah.
saw the first one
I haven't seen the
recently. It's
first
really
one.
good. Chris
Funny.
Tucker kind of seals the show,
Chris Tucker.
and that's why I don't want to see the sequels, because he's not in those.
Have you seen the Rush Hour?
Of course, I have
Okay.
the Rush Hour right there.
Mm.
I love Rush Hour. They're making a
another
fourth
trilogy.
one.
Oh, I'm making.
They're thinking of making a fourth one.
They shouldn't, but
I don't know how old Jackie Chan is. Maybe they do the de-aging.
Oh God. You're like,
Well, like I said, they've been doing it since like Bruce Lee. After Bruce Lee died, they've
Yeah.
been doing it. So it wouldn't be a shocker. Because there was this thing I heard about. You know the actor Audrey Hepburn.
yeah.
They remade her face in a chocolate commercial like in 2014,
Really.
and I like
But
resurrected
she's
her.
been dead for like a while.
But that's the thing. Like this shit has been going on, like resurrecting like dead people for like
I wonder
movies
what-
and shit.
I
Like
wanna
this
see-
shit has been going on for a while now, and
I
it's
wanna
kind of
look up
freaked me
What
out.
the first movie to do this was?
Um.
De-aging.
Oh, I wanted to bring up too. You remember Captain Marvel?
Yeah. Oh, when they
That
de-aged-
looked so much better, and that
Nick
was
Fury?
throughout the whole movie, and I did not notice a thing from that. So it is possible for like, some de-aging shit to be convincing.
So apparently, the first movie to use like the current CG de aging was X-Men: Last Stand.
Oh, right.
When they
When
de-age
Professor X and Magneto
Magneto,
visit
Jean
Jean Grey
Grey.
for the first time.
Yeah.
That looked bad.
So that was
That
apparently
looked
the
bad.
first time they used CG de aging.
We mentioned it though. We thought it was
Wolverine,
Wolverine,
yeah.
but yeah. Oh. I did not. That movie was not good.
I
That
don't
should have been
know.
a sign. I don't like that movie, man. That movie was such a waste of potential. They had no Mystique there. They got rid of Mystique.
Well, yeah, she died in that movie.
Yeah, so like
Oh, not died, but she lost her powers.
Cyclops dies like 30 minutes into the movie. Mystique dies like 30 minutes into the movie. It's so stupid. Like what? I don't understand it.
Professor S dies and like
Yeah. It was like, and the finale was some lame ass like. They're in like a sound stage, like in the junkyard. Like it was like Endgame, but looked lame.
I think they knew how bad it was, so they fixed it in when they did Days of Future Past.
Well, they rebooted it. They did First Class. Remember?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
I like First Class.
Days of Future Past is probably the best of like the prequel movies. And they have Apocalypse.
I think First Class.
First Class is great. I don't know. I think I prefer when you have Wolverine time traveling. He's the only
Wolverine's
character.
not in
He's
Wolverine
in
doesn't make that's
as a cameo.
It manages, yeah, he is barely,
Yeah.
but like it manages to be X-Men. Like X-Men is more than Wolverine, and I feel like the movies concentrated way too much on Wolverine. This is why they keep bringing him back. First Class should have not had Hugh Jackman come back. I know people, but now it's a crutch, and now they're bringing him back for Deadpool 3.
Oh, they are?
Which looks amazing.
But he died.
Have you seen? Wait, have you seen him in the outfit?
No. Oh no! Wait,
He's in a yellow
I
outfit.
have
Yes.
seen it,
Yeah.
But he died in Logan. Well, it's Deadpool. Deadpool doesn't really care.
He'll probably be like, "Oh, nothing gets away of money or something." He'll make a money joke.
And then in Apocalypse Now, he makes another cameo when
Jean Grey, X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh, sorry. Apocalypse Now is what Martin Sheen, but Apocalypse when Jean Grey who's Sansa in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he shows up barely. He was like in that one scene. It was like a teaser to Logan. It was like very bloody. I remember that. It was like kind of like Vader's hallway scene.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that. Yeah. Apocalypse, another forgettable one that was like.
Well, then there's the one
Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, that was trash. Yeah, I saw that. That was the most recent one. Yeah. And there was another one, New Mutants. With Anya Taylor-Joy. No one gives a fuck about these movies. I just realized like how many like X-Men movies are there?
The guy from Stranger Things
talks about him anymore.
Jonathan's in that movie.
Yeah.
I forget the actor's name.
Lead dealer Eric Molson, alpha dog, sick chicks, killer steez, and he totally gets me.
Who put this together? Are you autistic?
It is artistic, sir.
You have Dave Franco, who I don't know. He doesn't do it for me.
You don't like him.
He's the better Franco.
You don't like
James.
him in
I like him in Disaster Artist.
Disaster Artist.
He plays a good Greg.
Yeah.
But that's because he's just playing off his brother.
Yeah, but I mean, like
imagine him as the Green Goblin.
They look they look like almost the same person.
You can, without even knowing, you could be like, oh, that guy's related to James Franco.
It's just like him. He's also in what's that one movie with
Neighbors.
No, with Morgan Freeman and Mark Ruffalo.
Oh, I don't know it.
Oh, it's Now You See Me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's in Neighbors too.
Neighbors 2. Is that the
one?
one?
No, he's in Neighbors 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
He's 2 TOO. He's in Neighbors. He's in both of them. He's like Zac Efron's like buddy.
You know, it's funny because they're like showing how politically correct high school is compared to when they were in high school.
Yeah, he calls the guy gay. He's like, "You punched me because I'm gay." He's like, "I just punched you because you happen to be gay." Yeah. Like, turn that gay ass music.
But Dave Franco has the same smile as his brother. Mm-hmm. It's just the same as that smile.
Yeah. That's a good point though that you brought up about like even back then, like 2012, like the world was kind of changing because of the internet. Yeah. You know, people were being more accepting and PC and the different time, and you know, saying turn that gay ass music will get a different reaction in 2005 than 2012.
Yeah, but I mean,
you know,
to be fair though, like
plus they're in LA too. This is also an action movie, you know, other than a comedy. So you have like your typical car chases, but like not too big, because I don't think the budget on this movie was too big. It does get up in the sequel. The action, I'll say this: the sequel is not as good, but I would say like at least it looks more expensive, you know, and it's a retread of the first one but bigger. You know, so if you like this one, I would recommend the second one, but it's just not as good.
I mean, see, it's a good movie, but like every movie that has Jonah Hill, it goes like this: they're friends,
Yeah.
and then they're not friends, and then they're friends again.
I mean,
Same with like Seth Rogen movies and James Franco. They're friends, and then they're not friends. And
it's
then
a
they're friends
formula.
again.
It's a comedy though. Like it's a buddy cop comedy. It's gonna follow the tropes. Maybe it doesn't do it in the most interesting way. Like he like portrays his best friend for like the high school girl.
Well, I mean, he didn't have
He
like a
portrays
high
his best
school-
friend. Wait, he portrays his best friend for a high school girl,
I mean, I kind of get that. He really didn't have like a high school
girlfriend. You're
or
right.
anything.
He had
like,
he didn't. Is he a virgin?
Oh, they never explained that. Probably.
Probably not. Probably not.
Well, I
don't
think
know. That'd be-
probably.
that'd be- They would definitely. If he was a virgin, they would definitely bring it up as a comedic bit, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they would have like, maybe they didn't do it because she's a high schooler, but they would have like a sex scene where I'm like, this is my first time.
Well, I
you
mean,
know?
Superbad, they have set scenes that's in high school.
Yeah. Okay. You want to know something about that? McLovin had to. His parents had to be there.
How old is he?
He was 17 when he was filming that scene, so his parents had to be there watching him do
That's
that.
so funny.
We'll do a Superbad for sure one day. Yeah, this kind of is in the shadow of Superbad. It's just like another. It's not as good as another Jonah Hill. It's like one of. It's just to me, it is one of the other Jonah Hill comedies. You know, it's not like top tier like Wolf of Wall Street or Superbad, which one is directed by Martin Scorsese and two is, you know, a passion project that's been built up for years by Seth Rogen. You
Like
know,
Channing Tatum is great, but he's not Michael Cera. Like Michael Cera.
Channing Tatum, he's just not funny.
Yeah.
You know, like his like, oh, covalent bonds, bitch. Like I didn't. I liked his dynamic with the nerds. By the way, I don't know if you know that guy.
He looks very familiar.
He Dak Flame is the guy's name. If you know who that guy is, if you know, you know.
No, he's definitely
Dakota Johnson from
50 Shades.
50 Shades is in it.
You know, she's also in The Office.
She is?
Like the last episode.
Okay. Have you seen Lab Rats? Is a Disney
Oh, the show?
Yeah.
I think so.
Sitcom. It was like a show that like my little sisters had on, and one of the guys is in this movie, and I was like, hey,
Who does he
it's
play?
that Lab Rat guy. He plays the understudy. Peter Pan's understudy, yeah. He's also in Zapped with Zendaya. Another Disney.
I've seen Zapped.
Oh, you have seen
I've
Zapped.
seen
Okay. He's the boyfriend in Zapped. It's revealed that the coach
What's the
with the
actor's
Cool
name?
Ranch deraited. I don't know.
'Cause
He's in everything though. He's in a
B
lot of
movie.
things.
He's
He's
that
in the
one
B
TV
movie?
Yeah, he's the guy that Barry B. Benson steals his girlfriend.
No.
Yes,
That's Peter. That's
it's
that's
I
what's
get
his
them-
face from Family Guy.
no, this guy's in Step Brothers.
Okay. Yeah, that
I get
no,
them
that
confused.
voice is very very distinct.
I don't know why I get them confused. I don't
Yeah,
know
he's
why.
also like the big bag wolf in Hoodwink. If you remember
Oh,
that.
yeah, yeah.
He's a lot of things. He's a lot of things.
He also has that one TV show. It's like Wipeout but mini golf.
Were you even intrigued with like the mystery of it all? Did you like care who
not
was gonna
really.
be the drugs?
I really didn't care that much. I mean, it was cool. I liked the part where Johnny Depp is a DEA agent the whole time.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
was
he's
in the
like-
beginning scene. They just didn't like bring.
Oh, he
he's like,
was?
yeah, he's like, when they're smoking weed, he's like, I gotta smoke weed because I got glaucoma, and then it pans to like Johnny Depp's character, and he's in completely makeup. He's like herpes. I like that. It was a funny. It's one of the better cameos, honestly, because like he was in it throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, oh shit, and like if you don't get it, it's like, oh, it's still Johnny Depp, and then they shoot his dick off.
Literally, that's
They
crazy.
show it too. It's
Yeah.
funny. It's kind of gross though, but I like how they show it, and they show him biting it too. It's they actually go there, but it's funny. I don't want to spoil it, but there's a funny joke about his dick in the second one. He does make a return along with Dave Franco.
I've said that. Is Brie Larson the new?
No, she does not return. Actually Jonah Hill's love interest in the second one is actually funnier.
Okay.
In just relationship to like who she is. It's really funny.
Is she not a high schooler?
You gotta watch
okay,
it.
alright.
And the second one does take place in college, just
Okay,
like how the
alright.
first one sets it up. It's funny though.
Yeah,
I would recommend it.
No, I love how far Jonah Hill's character like gets into the high school persona.
Yeah.
Channing Tatum's like, I saw an application to Berkeley on your desk.
But it makes sense because that type of character I feel like would like once he's enjoying the high of high school that he never had before.
Yeah.
Like
Because Channing Tatum already had that.
yeah, I can imagine, and not only that Channing Tatum already had that, it's not working for him now. He's just like some
Like
jock who's like mixed in with the smart kids because they mix up identities too. That's another thing.
Oh yeah, Brad and Doug.
That's why he's like all the burnouts and like the pseudo intellectual kids and.
We're like in the end of Die Hard right now, but it's our actual life. It's crazy.
Number 1 or 2?
3. Sam Jackson style.
I mean, obviously, like there are funnier movies, funnier high school movies, but it's very It's,
Did it meet your expectations?
Yeah, I mean, it's what I expected.
So what would you give it?
Blockbuster. Actually, no, sorry. I mean, what's the Simpsons movie one?
Oh, Blu-ray? You gonna give it a Blu-ray?
I'll give it Blu-ray.
All right, I will give it a rentable Blockbuster case.
Okay.
I forgot to explain. Some of you may not even know what Blockbuster is, but it back in the old day when you wanted to watch a movie, you either went to the public library to rent out a movie, either bought it from the store, or used to rent one out in a place called Blockbuster or a mom and pop shop or somewhere else, and rent out a movie and watch that movie and then return it.
Is
And
this that was from Blockbuster?
Yeah, The Force Unleashes in there. It's not a movie. It's a video game. It has the receipt and everything
How
in
did you
it.
get this?
It's in this house. I looked up in the attic and it was in there, and it had the receipt in it and everything. I'm like, wow, I gotta save that.
I can tell this is like when Blockbuster was on the way out.
Yeah,
It's a Wii game.
it's a Wii game. Yeah.
So this is like definitely Blockbuster's last couple of years. Suit year.
But
September 5th, 2008.
did you used to go to Blockbuster as a kid?
All the time. That
Yeah.
and like the library.
Yeah.
To rent.
Library was even more because Blockbuster kind of shut down when we were like 10, 8. Yeah.
Well, I mean, do you know what's really interesting is, you know that Netflix is getting rid of their DVD subscription?
Yeah. And at first, I didn't even know they had it on for that long. That's kind of crazy.
So my dad, he's very into like watching all these obscure horror and sci-fi movies.
Yeah.
And he can only get them through
From
the DVD
Netflix.
service.
And
And
now
he's
it's
so
only-
mad because he's
Wow,
watched
he actually uses it though.
all the time.
Like-
I used to use it all the time, like because
Service.
even in high school, like when all we had for streaming was Netflix and Hulu. That's
Yeah.
all we had for like 5-6 years, just 2.
Yeah.
And then if a movie wasn't on Hulu or Netflix,
It was Hulu Plus, remember?
yeah,
it was
Hulu
like
Plus.
Hulu Plus or something like that.
But yeah, I would get a movie from Netflix. You have like this whole list, and like you would get it mailed to you. You would watch it, and then you would mail it back, and a week later you would get another one. Yeah, it's.
What you rent in there? Do you remember any of the movies that you rented?
Oh, it was a bunch of. I probably can find some on your shelf. Like all the Hitchcock movies I saw on the
Yeah.
Netflix DVDs.
Yeah.
Casino,
Yeah.
Get Out.
Yeah.
All the.
Oh, so you used this recently?
high school.
Oh wow. Okay. So
Like
Damn,
when Get Out, I wonder if when Get Out first came out on DVD, like 2017, 2018, whatever it was.
well,
Like I stopped using it like.
I wonder
2019.
what they're gonna do with all those DVDs.
I have
Like
no
that,
idea.
it's just in some warehouse. What are they gonna do with it? But it is sad that they're getting rid of that. I would give it a rental case as well, and I would recommend the sequel. It still holds up, if that's what you're asking. It's
Well, I
been
mean-
10 years. It's kind of crazy. It's been more than 10 years, but it still holds up.
Well, My Name's Jeff, is that like a really relevant point to the movie?
It was clearly a joke. It was clearly a joke that caught on a lot.
Oh, you know what we never brought up in this episode?
What?
What's 9 plus 10?
21.
So we can get into our next movie. Actually, you might have heard of this movie. I'm gonna name off the
Oh.
cast. It has something to do with the next movie we're talking about.
Okay.
For our background movie of choice, the cast is Will Smith,
Mhm.
Jack Black. Do you know what it is?
Oh, just Jumanji. No, that's Jumanji, right?
It's not Jumanji.
Will Smith,
Will Smith, Jack Black.
Oh, is this Shark Tale?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Robert De Niro, Angelina Jolie, and Martin Scorsese as the puffer's fish.
Who did Jack Black play again?
She plays the son of Robert De Niro. That is the
No,
DreamWorks
see,
logo.
it's not as bad as people say it is, honestly.
Yeah, it's a reviled film, but as a kid, it was a banger. This might have some previews too. Oh no, it's straight into the
Straight into the
movie.
movie.
What? I forgot how creative that is. It goes straight into the movie as like a hook.
No, people hate on this movie. It's really not that
Yeah.
bad.
It starts off with the Jaws theme.
Yeah.
And that's our next
Oh,
movie.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've just seen the movie.
I love it.
And is this your first time?
Ninth time.
Your how many?
Ninth.
Your ninth time?
Right.
What makes you come back after...
The shark.
Why?
Oh, I don't know. I just like the shark.
It's a horrible film, though, isn't it? I mean, people get eaten by the shark and it gobbles people up. And...
I know. It's really fantastic.
Jaws.
Mm.
Is it your favorite movie
By Spielberg?
ever?
No, definitely top 10 though.
Is it your favorite movie by Spielberg?
Yes. Well, what is there to say about this movie that that hasn't been said already?
That's true.
Well, I have to give though, Quint probably one of the best characters in any movie. I think. What I love about this movie is the background characters. They're obviously just regular. It's kind of like the Spider-Man movies. I think the background characters kind of
great.
sell it for me.
Yeah.
They're just like I don't think any of them are actors. They're just people. You know, they're just regular
Probably.
civilians who are
Probably.
just probably
I
live
mean,
in this beach town.
I do remember like a thing where like Spielberg just likes directing all his extras. He tells everyone like what he does individually, so I'm sure he's very attentive to that. He made it when he was 26, which is kind of crazy.
That's crazy. He's like 4 years older than we are.
Yeah, we need to get our shit together,
Yeah.
Jesus. But he made one film beforehand, Sugarland Express. We mentioned that before, and he made a TV movie called Duel. So like, he was young, but he already kind of was already doing it. Like he also directed stuff for Columbo, like in the '60s, like CBS television. I don't know if you ever seen The Fablemans, but that should be
No.
something on your list. He directed his own biography, basically, like his own life story, his childhood, basically.
Oh, he directed it. Like
Yes, it's about his childhood, and I think it's really good. It's interesting too if you're a Spielberg fan. You see where all his inspirations come from.
yeah, but this is the movie I think that changed Hollywood as a whole. Like, this is like the first like franchise.
It's hard to
blockbuster.
pinpoint like one movie. That's what I've learned, like going through the history of movies. Hard to pinpoint one movie. This definitely
This
was
is
like one of the
them.
movies, because like beforehand you had Godfather, which never beforehand like premiered the movie like in all 600 theaters. It used to be like a movie would premiere in New York and LA, and if it was a success, it would go on to the rest of the country. Watch the documentary about the Godfather. That's what they claimed.
What's that one show that just came out with
The
Miles
Offer.
Teller? Yeah.
I mean, that's what I meant. The Offer. That they said that in The Offer. But Jaws, like you said, changed movies forever in that it was unprecedented success. It beat Gone with the Wind and as the highest grossing movie of all time, and that movie came out
Like
40 years
yeah.
beforehand.
I'm surprised that Wizard of Oz wasn't up there.
Wizard of Oz came out the same year as Gone with the Wind. So, and honestly, it wasn't a big success when it first came out.
Oh,
It was
really?
more like a home video. It premiered on television, and then more people started liking it, type of thing. But Jaws, on the other hand, everyone liked it instantly.
Oh yeah.
It kind of brought the idea of the movie blockbuster to an audience.
Yeah, but it's
for
so,
better or worse.
It's so funny because the sequels
Mhm.
are like they try
I haven't
so
seen the
hard.
sequels.
I only saw like the
I don't want to waste my
second and
time with
third
it. I
one.
saw like clips of the third one. There's like a
Jaws 3D.
yeah, it's like in SeaWorld, right?
Yeah. Have you in Back to the Future 2? Remember when they're in
Jaws
2015?
19.
Jaws 19.
Yeah.
There's like
Speaking of other cultural relevant things, like first off, I knew this movie like way before I saw the movie. Like I knew the score. It was always played at like baseball games
John
and shit
Williams
like that.
classic.
You basically knew this movie before you saw it.
Yeah.
Did you see the parody with SpongeBob?
Well, there's a couple parodies. In SpongeBob.
Okay.
I wasn't bringing this up.
There's
So
one that's strictly on the boat though. Do you remember that one?
So that's the clam one. That's one that everybody knows. But
Yeah.
do you remember? I've never heard anyone mention this before. Remember the episode with like the worm attacking the city?
The Alaskan bullworm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And remember there's that guy with like the raincoat and he's
Oh, he
scratching
scratches
the
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah. And he's
literally-
like, I just wanted to go to the bathroom.
But I feel
Yeah.
like nobody got that.
I thought that
Yeah.
was in the clam episode actually. I just put
No.
2 and 2 together.
Yeah, the worm one and then the clam one obviously just plays the song.
The whole concept of the episode is Jaws. They have
Yeah.
Squidward, SpongeBob, and Mr. Krabs.
Krabs.
Three characters on a boat trying to capture this giant legendary crab. It's just like Jaws. It's
Well,
so
I mean,
funny.
You remember why they're trying to catch it?
Because they stole Mr. Krabs $1,
One
right?
millionth dollar.
$1 million,
Me
yeah.
dollar.
I thought it was his first dollar, but his first dollar was the
the
one that
paint.
got paint on. Yeah, the characters,
Yeah.
iconic. I'm speaking on the three main leads. Police Chief Martin Brody.
Who hates the water? He just cannot stand the water. Never really a reason why, but I
Right.
love that character. That
I love that he lives on an island, though.
yeah.
You know?
Well, like you said, it's only an island when you see it. No, what did you say? It's only an island when you look at it from the water.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Well,
That's
yeah.
what does he mean by that?
I think he's just saying like, if you don't think about it, then you're not on an island.
I really like. I like him. He's a really good like protagonist.
Great main character, yeah.
I think like I like his kids too. His little kid steals the show.
Oh, which
Scene
one?
stealer. No, the one that does the little imitation thing.
Oh,
Love
yeah.
that moment.
Oh, that's a great.
But
I
like
mean, this
he's
is-
so cute, and there's lots of moments where he's like, "Hey, look at I'm making a sandcastle and shit like that." And when he cries too, when the shark's on the loose, great
this-
acting.
Movie's literally a fish out of water movie.
Yeah, that's true.
A literal fish out of water. You know, this man who grew up in New York City,
Mm-hmm.
moved with his family, probably a better job as the chief of police, which is
It's always a New York cop moving somewhere else.
Yeah,
Die Hard. you
yeah,
know?
literally. That's not on Christmas though.
Yeah.
No.
4th of July though. 4th
Yeah,
of
oh,
July.
that's
Do you
true.
watch this often on 4th of July?
I forget it's on 4th of July. I just watch it during the summer.
It was always on 4th of July. They always
Yeah.
put it on like an AMC and shit like that.
Well, I watched it in theaters in September when it came out in IMAX.
Right. I'll be totally honest with you. That was the first time I saw that movie start to finish.
Really?
When I saw that in the theater last year. I always saw this movie on cable, and I always saw parts of it, like the beginning of it, and then I stopped watching at the end of it and stopped watching. Never saw the movie start to finish. And to see it start to finish for the first time in IMAX, unbelievable.
Incredible.
Like, it caught me off guard, like, how much of a horror movie this
Oh, yeah.
movie feels. Like, the sound design. Like, the opening scene. Like, it's terrifying. You don't see the shark at all. It's all in the visuals and the sound. You hear the water, like, her screaming in the water. That's all you need. You don't need the shark. You just need that. And it works so much. Like, it's so good.
Well, I mean,
And-
it's the same as like the movie poster is the same as the book of like the
Yeah.
girl. I don't know. I forget who wrote the book. Was it
Peter Blanchie is the author's name, by the way. He was
has-
also a credited
yeah.
screenwriter, and he's also he's the news reporter. The author is actually the news reporter
Oh.
who does the news reporting
Yeah.
for like, hey, it's 4th of July weekend on blah blah blah.
Speaking of that, I love how chaotic the conversations are. There's like
People
five
talking over each
conversations
other a lot.
going
Yeah.
over. It reminds me of Breaking Bad,
Mm-hmm.
and like one of the last episodes when like it's like I think after spoilers for Breaking Bad, by the way.
Okay.
After they kill, have you seen Breaking Bad?
I've seen Breaking Bad.
After
Okay,
and
yeah,
he
that's a
goes back
big
to the
spoiler.
house.
That's a big spoiler.
Well, it's a
Wow.
spoiler.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that big. Okay.
But like when
I'll bleep it out. But like,
well,
you know who I'm talking
yeah,
about.
Yeah, when he dies.
The meme, Walter meme.
Walter
That's all
meme.
you need.
Yeah, with the close in.
Yeah.
When he goes home and then like him and Skylar are like yelling and
Mm-hmm.
talking over each other and there's so much chaos. Yeah, so like I love how all the characters talk over each other, especially in the beginning when like you're like looking at this town, a lot of just conversations going, like a lot of not chaos, but like the work environment. He goes to work as like the chief of police and he has people complaining about, oh, these kids are karate chopping the fence and
Sheriff Hopper from Stranger Things. I can see a lot of
yeah. Oh
you
yeah.
know, similarities.
Well,
to
a
that.
very boring town.
Yeah.
It's literally a town where like the
And then the
news
mayor.
story-
The mayor. Have you seen Stranger Things season 3?
Yeah, when
When the mayor doesn't want to close down the town because of weird shit.
4th of July.
That's-
That scene of like the kid getting attacked reminds
Yeah.
me of when Johnny Depp dies in
Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, it's
It's like the blood
whole
just
scene
pooling
blood.
everywhere.
I'm glad they had the dog die off screen, but it's
Yeah.
still very sad. Like, you see it, you're like happily paddling, and then you
Mhm.
see the guy just call out. You know, very
Yeah.
tasteful.
Yeah.
It's how Spielberg does it.
Yeah,
It's
but
nice.
yeah, killing a child is fine, but a dog, God forbid.
Yeah, I mean that's movies. Like, come
Yeah.
on now. Like, yeah, of course you don't kill. You're not gonna show the dog die. Unless
But showing the kid die is kind of crazy. That doesn't happen in most
yes,
movies.
well now it
Yeah.
doesn't. The last time I remember it happening in the movie is
I think
not the most
Hereditary.
recent Hereditary. That's a big one.
Yeah.
That's kind of a spoiler.
Yeah, sorry.
But also in not Halloween Ends, but the first Halloween reboot the newest one.
Yeah,
that
like
they killed the kid.
2018. Yeah,
Do you remember?
I've seen that one. Yeah.
Yeah, felt bad for that kid, honestly. The mayor's being a douchebag as always, encouraging people to go into the water. Like, bro, I get that you want to keep the beaches open and you want to keep business open, sure. But if people don't want to go in the pool, don't go in the pool. But to encourage people to walk into the pool is kind of fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, you're already making the money.
Well,
why do you need to, like...
They're a beach town, so I get it.
But, like, they're not making money. It doesn't... like, they're already at the beach. They're not making any money if they're...
in the water.
In the water. Like, what...
Well, there's that one scene when the mayor's, like, go in the water, and, like, him and his like, wife and grandkids go, and they look terrified.
Yeah, it's
like,
pretty...
They'll have been, like, held at hostage to, like, go in the water.
I also wanted to shout out the old man that, like, obstructs Dreyfus's vision when he's watching. He has, like, these flappy-ass tits. It's very funny.
Yeah, when he's, like, talking. I love how everyone's just complaining to him.
Yeah, like, they have no compassion about what he's going about. You know, they just... But he likes it, apparently. Like, I remember one of my favorite things he says is, like, you know, in New York City, can't really make a difference. It's just so many people, but... You know, hasn't been a murder in this town in 25 years, and one man can make a difference. It's great.
Well, yeah, because nothing happens in this town. It's a very just, like, community, you know, I mean, like, during, like, the rest of the year, minus the summer, it's just, like, the same people because they're on an island. No one's going to visit an island during the winter.
Holy shit, I've been getting it wrong. Roy Scheider. Roy Scheider plays
Richard Dreyfuss is...
Richard Dreyfuss is Hooper.
Cooper, yeah.
Yeah. So it was supposed to be a 55-day shoot. You want to take a guess on how long it actually took?
100.
156 days.
I was saying 155. I was close.
Yeah, it went way over schedule, like 3 times over schedule, basically.
What was the reason behind that?
Just Spielberg, you know, being a perfectionist, I guess, and just shooting on the water.
Yeah.
That's a very hard thing to do. I want to tell you a few things he tried to do to make, you know, Bruce Jaws come to life.
I had this idea of doing a miniature cage and putting a little person into a miniature cage, and that would scale the shark. That would have effectively scaled the shark up and added another, you know, 9 feet to the overall length of the shark. And that kind of made sense to me. But I was looking for a little person who was in scale with the cage.
So when Spielberg was interviewing these, like, little people to be in the cage, he had this one guy. Ever seen Whiplash?
Yeah.
Literally the same thing happened to this guy.
Really?
This little person. Crashed his car, left the scene of the accident, and went to the audition with Spielberg.
I remember this tenacious gentleman who came in to see me bleeding. And I said, "Why are you bleeding?" He said, "Well, I was afraid I was going to be late for this meeting. I really want this job. I got into a traffic accident in front of the main gate at Universal." And we sent him back to the accident to fill out the report with the police. But I remember I was thinking, what a brave man. And he really wants this job. And I was young and courageous and stupid, and I hired him.
And his name was Carl Rizzo. And Hollywood sent us this little man, and he couldn't dive. He had spent most of his life riding horses, doubling for children in films like National Velvet. He'd double for Elizabeth Taylor. And we had to take him out and stuff him into a cage and dangle him into the cold Southern Ocean and have sharks, big, huge, monstrous sharks swimming around him. And he was very much afraid.
He tried to use that method. It didn't work.
With the shark, is it a puppet or was it like a mechanical...
Well, it was a mechanical thing it was 2 sharks. It was one shot for, like, left side and there was one shot for, like, the right side. And they shot in Massachusetts.
Cape Cod?
Not Cape Cod. Martha's Vineyard.
Oh, okay.
Because it was the only place on the East Coast where you can go 12 miles out and it'll still be 30 feet deep. So that's why they were able to use the shark underneath there.
Well, this takes place in New York. I forget where in New York. Amity Island. I don't think
Oh,
it's real.
yeah, you're right. It might be Amityville.
Amityville.
Amityville is in Long Island, so it might be New
York.
York.
I think it's like Long Island. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, do you remember the scene where Richard Dreyfuss, Hooper is looking underwater, and you see his a head pop out?
Yeah.
That was a reshoot actually. Spielberg, after the first test screening, he's like, I needed something there, and he got $3,000 of his own money and spent money on
They never
that one
talk
shot.
about that. Like
What?
he finds the head and doesn't
That's what I
tell.
mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a reshoot. That's why
yeah.
it's so clearly a reshoot. But I guess he thought it was necessary. But Hooper in the book has an affair with
His wife.
Brody's wife.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Did you ever suspect that in the movie or no?
No.
Do you like Hooper?
Yeah.
Do you like the performance, Hooper?
Yeah. What other movies is Richard Dreyfuss in? I'm trying to remember.
American Graffiti, Stand By Me. I recently saw American Graffiti. So
You like
that's
it?
why I really liked it.
Yeah.
It was like Dazed and Confused, but like
Older?
for the 60s. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I don't really remember any scene that could have, shown him and.
They were only had one scene together, and that's
Yeah.
when they're explaining like she's like, so you're a expert on.
So you're in sharks.
Oh, you're into sharks. Yeah.
No, there's more than one scene because when they're like calling the Coast Guard, they're all three of them were together.
Robert was really, really seasick one day, and he had to shoot a line, a very simple line. The line was, "Hooper, you idiot, ain't you watching?" He had to be helped into the chair. I mean, it hurt him just to be touched. And we were all hoping that he'd get it. Steven set up the camera. Robert was here, and he had to turn into the camera to say this line. Steven said action, and Robert turned around, and with a power that put me through the wall, he went, "Hooper, you idiot! Ain't you watching? Hooper, you idiot! Starboard, ain't you watching it?" And I swear to God, everyone went, "Bah!" And then Steven said, "Cut, print," and Robert went, collapsed.
Well, the thing with Quint is like, where is he from? I know the actor's Irish,
Right.
But like, they never explain.
Well, he was in the military. We know that.
He was part of the USS Indianapolis, which is like the most important mission.
I think he's either from that town and he never left, or I don't know. I don't think it matters where he's from because he's a sailor. His sea is his home. You know.
That's true.
I remember he's like, "Don't forget your rubbers."
Yeah. He's such a great character.
I love everything he says. It's gold. Everything comes out of his mouth. The classic scene with the trading scars and shit like that.
Oh, I think that's the best scene in the movie when they're trading scars and they're singing.
Oh, you said it before. Like that was the best scene.
Oh yeah.
I wanna go home. I'm tired. And I wanna go.
Well, I could tell a lot of the scenes too are like improv. Like the scene also when Cooper comes to their house, and they're having the wine. They're all trying not to laugh the entire time. If I were to choose one thing to fix, maybe when they
I wouldn't fix anything.
Well, I mean, if you had to fix something.
Okay. I couldn't. Like I literally can't think of anything.
I'm trying to think.
Like this is like as perfect as a movie as you get, in my opinion. That's why it's so hard to talk about.
One thing, I would either the part when Cooper finds the head in the boat. Like,
that was a reshoot.
I know, but
imagine it. Okay, well, you know what? If Spielberg, I know you're listening. Guess what? You made a mistake, and I guess in the documentary he explains it too, and he thinks he made a mistake too because once the head goes off, they got a big reaction, but then when the shark came out, they didn't get a big reaction. So like he lost the audience trust there, and beforehand when they didn't have that shot, the audience freaked out when the shark came out of the thing for the first time. You didn't know that was a reshoot before?
No, I had no idea. But now that you mention it, I definitely see it now.
Yeah, they also, it's good they cut out that whole affair thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't see how that would fit anywhere.
It's also like the mayor was into like mob. There was like a mob storyline as well.
I mean, I guess that makes sense, because how concerned he is about the money.
Yeah.
That's it. I've had it up to here. Oh no! Hurry! Swim! No, Frankie, wait! No! Get your boy! Get your boy!
Oh, this is when he kills the shark.
He attempts to. No, that's just when. Oh, Michael Imperioli voices his brother.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is this how you get someone from The Sopranos?
I think this was after, during The Sopranos.
During The Sopranos.
He was busy. Because this whole thing is like a parody on like The Godfather. Like the sharks are like gangsters.
It's just a parody of everything gangster. Like
it was just a parody of 2004.
Oh yeah.
Because like, why is Will Smith in here? That has nothing to do with gangsters.
No. I mean, yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie, nothing to do with gangsters.
Jack Black too. Like I didn't even know he was that Lenny. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Lenny. I forgot he was even that shark.
Recast Jaws.
Recast Shaw. Like
Yes.
now.
Jack Black as Hooper.
Yeah, I see that. Oh, well, he has the whole beard now.
Yeah.
He has that legendary beard.
It'll be a different Jack Black as Quinn. That's a different movie.
No, I think a really good.
That's a different movie. That would be funny though.
You know who'd be really good, Quinn?
Yeah.
Jason Momoa.
He's too.
He's
too attractive.
Too attractive.
He's way too.
Oh,
attractive.
more like rustic.
I can't buy him as an old sailor dude that no one wants to be around. Like that guy is definitely fucking in his
I'm trying to think
boat.
of like a rustic, manly, a man's man.
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott.
Yeah, but he's more like a cowboy. He's not like a sailor. Willem Dafoe. He's already like did that shit with like the lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and I also kind of saw a little bit of that performance in Quinn, or the other way around, I guess. But I would definitely have Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, that's a good one. And then Jack Black is Hooper.
Jack Black is Hooper.
Who would you choose for the what's his name?
Tom
Martin
Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I feel like he's getting older though. That's the thing.
Well, he looks young though. Tom Cruise is like a vampire. Tom Cruise now looks like he's in his 50s when he's like actually like 65 or something like that. So like, I can buy him as like on his way to a retired cop. Like maybe he has 5 more years left and this is what he's gonna do.
I'm surprised how good Top Gun Maverick was. Like,
I'd never seen Top Gun.
That's a really good movie.
Mission Impossible comes out
the new
soon.
One. Yeah. But I was just so surprised how good that movie was. It was received very well. I thought it was gonna be like another cash grab. You know.
Well, it's Tom Cruise. I think he got. I don't know. The Mummy was like his last really shitty movie, and I feel like I don't know. He has been really paying attention to like quality. He had like this crazy freak out during the Mission Impossible set. It was like, we were the only people to make movies right now because of COVID and blah blah.
But it was like the Christian Bale freak out during Terminator.
I don't even know about that.
You don't know about that? But when the Terminator from like 2009. There's like
Salvation, right?
Yeah, this is leaked footage of him literally freaking out a cameraman for like 7 minutes straight. Do you
remember this Terminator Salvation video game at like every movie theater?
Yeah. Oh
ever?
yeah. Remember the AMC in Brick had the arcade there?
Yeah. Well, every movie theater used to have an arcade. That kind of is just like a lost thing now.
I think Freehold still has it, right?
No, it's gone. Freehold is gone with it. No.
I know but I remember the one in Brick.
There's one in Lincoln Square in the city that had one. They always have the same one. It's like Batmobile driving game.
House of the Dead 2.
House of the Dead 2 and like fucking Terminator Salvation and like a shitty claw game or something like that.
With the rubber duckies.
Yeah. So if you're listening into the future, this is something that like you'll never experience.
Do you ever think about in like 1,000 years from now? So I mean, like now it's all digital. Like you can't find these tapes somewhere. But like, do you think like in like 1,000 years from now?
Well, if our civilization, this is getting really podcasty now, but if our civilization is destroyed, I think our internet is destroyed. So I feel like everything else, physical media is literally the only way that lasts beyond us. Yeah. Because if there's no us, there's no internet. You know what I mean?
It's probably gonna be floating somewhere in like cyberspace.
But who's gonna figure out the internet for us? Let's look at this. This is like a classic like mafia wedding. They're on the Titanic right now. Topical.
Well, no, I think the whole Titan thing about them drowning, I think that was a distraction from something that was going on.
Well, there was something. I always see like bait posts on like Instagram of like people be like, "This is the truth. This is what like I." I kind of want to look into it, but like at the end of the day, I'm like,
there was a lot of immigration displacement going on.
That's what I was talking about. There was something in Greece that like 700 people died or something.
And then it was weird because they were like milking the story out for like a week, but it turns out they knew the whole time that they were dead already.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like people need to be more smarter. It feels a little bit dehumanizing, but like it's not. There's so many other huge tragedies in the world that like that story to me didn't like the stuff like horrible stuff like that happens every day.
No, I agree, but like they had a countdown, but like they
Yeah, that's
knew
what
the
I
whole
mean.
time they were
Yeah,
dead.
that's what I well.
So
In my head, I just thought they're not gonna
No.
if they couldn't find our technology is so good, wouldn't they just rise up to, I don't know, common sense, people. They can't lose someone in the ocean for that long. I guess I don't know. I don't know. The ocean's very scary. Maybe they
No,
don't.
I don't. You saw like what it looked like inside, right?
Yeah, it
it's
looked
like
crazy.
it's like a tube.
I saw some going back to filmmaking. We'll go back into the topic of film, but James Cameron was interviewed about it, and he's like, "Yeah, that's not very safe."
Yeah, I don't.
And that man has done it. Actually, he's gone.
Done it.
Yeah, he's gone down to the Mariana Trench. He's like one of the only 4 people to do it. That's crazy.
No,
that's why he's so obsessed with water. He's done the Titanic.
The reason why people do these kind of adventures is
Yeah.
because of the price on them.
Oh yeah. Like clout.
Clout. Oh yeah, I spent $250,000 to go
Well, watch.
into a
There'll be
tube.
something with a space accident because people are going to space now. There'll be a space accident and there'll be worldwide coverage and less people will go to space.
Well,
after that
the
accident.
Challenger, but the Challenger was a whole different thing.
That was kind of the first commercial, and that's why people stopped for a while.
Yeah.
that was in the 80s.
But see, but that was actually sad because it
yeah,
was,
seeing the
teacher,
kids' reaction, seeing their fucking teacher blow up.
Just a regular
Crazy.
teacher, not a millionaire like the Ocean Gate or whatever.
And it was highly televised. It was a big thing. Imagine if they did this was something unprecedented. People go underwater
all the
time. So to me, I didn't understand why it was big news. Where were we?
So I mean, I think we were talking about about the recasting of Jaws and Tom Cruise.
Oh yeah. So you like Tom Cruise?
Yeah, I think Tom Cruise will be good.
Who would you cast as the mayor? Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill or Seth Rogen.
I don't know about Seth Rogen.
No, Seth Rogen.
He's just too Canadian and West Coast. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Jonah Hill's a good
What would
one.
you cast as his wife though?
Who's the I mean, I'm trying to think of
older actresses.
Jennifer Aniston. I don't know.
I could see Scarlett Johansson. The age gap is a little bit big there.
Yeah, but she looks older. In this movie, the actress was older. I feel Scarlett Johansson is only 45.
Might be. Oh, Nicole Kidman. They were in Eyes Wide Shut together. So I think she would be.
Kubrick's last movie.
Yeah. The ending is super tense too.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. I think when Quint dies is I think the most violent part of the movie.
And you think Cooper dies too. You
Yeah.
think Cooper and they kind of don't shy for it. They have this plan, instantly goes south.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even waste time on hey, maybe it might go well. No, they're fucked. It was a very stupid plan from the get-go and they got paid for it.
No, but I just love before that we learn about his backstory about he has this military trauma.
Yeah, with the sharks.
But I just love how they build that up, and then you actually feel because during the movie he's kind of an asshole. He's just this.
Yeah, I still liked him though.
Oh, I did too. But you're trying to perceive him as an asshole, and then he tells this traumatic war story that he lost all his.
And you believe him too. You know he's not kidding when he's talking about it.
The acting is incredible. This movie win any Oscars?
There's a funny video with Steven Spielberg. We're getting to it.
And Milos
Oh, I didn't get it. I didn't get it. I wasn't nominated. I got beaten out by Fellini. These are my spokesmen. First of all, being the first Godfather, I have this to say. The Godfather was nominated for the Best Picture and won, but the director, Bob Fosse of Cabaret, won. That's bullshit. You cannot have the Best Picture unless the director is also nominated. Who made the picture? Somebody's mother?
The director.
This man made yours. Are you kidding? Who's kidding who around here?
This is a dark day in Hollywood.
Absolutely.
The sun is shining, but this is a very
This is a dark day for our pal.
The greatest picture of all time was made, and they haven't recognized the director.
Who made it? The shark? It's a matter of logic. Who made the best picture?
All right. Enough.
That's it.
I'm suffering enough.
All right, we're suffering
No more.
with
I'm
you.
suffering.
We're suffering.
Cancel my day.
Right, we're getting drunk.
Best picture, best editing, best score, and sound.
That's it?
We named
Best
every-
screenplay?
Not even special effects.
Not even special effects?
Oh.
This is called commercial backlash.
Right.
I don't know if anybody knows the word commercial backlash,
No.
but when a film makes a lot of money, people resent it. Everybody
They do.
Everybody loves a winner.
but nobody loves a winner.
There was some disdain for it, you know, because it was like a return to the old swashbuckly like swashbuckly genre-esque movies of the 40s, like western-esque, action-oriented, not because movies at that time were more drama ridden. The late 70s, think of Godfather, think of Five Easy Pieces, think of Easy Rider, think of Bonnie and Clyde, think of The Graduate. Like the new Hollywood was way different than what was going to come next, which was Jaws, and it's kind of like the formula that is now.
Speaking of The Graduate, I feel like
Mayor.
The mayor.
The mayor.
He's like
yeah.
plastics.
Yeah,
that's him, right?
Yes.
I was gonna say that reminds me of him, but that
is him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Murray Hamilton, I had just been a big fan of from the FBI story with James Stewart to The Graduate, and that great scene, you know, with Dustin Hoffman, where he tells Dustin to go off and sow some wild oats. And I just always wanted to work with him. I don't know. I was a big fan of his and saw him instantly as the mayor of Amity.
I mean, it's brutal when Quinn dies, because like you hear the crunch of his ribs, blood comes out of his mouth.
He's like the last guy you thought. He's like the last guy you thought would die in this movie. He's like.
Looking back at it now, I think he is like the obvious one to die. Honestly.
No, but he seems like an indestructible guy that he'll never die.
Have you ever seen like any other shark movie where it's like, I'm the tough guy, I can do anything, and then they die?
Well, see, but back then, this is like the first one to do that.
Yeah. And there's another thing I forgot to mention, like the dynamic with the characters. You have Hooper, who's like the rich brains of the operation, and you have like the rough and tough blue collar.
And then you have the fish out of water who just hates boats in general. Robert Shaw always plays like the same character. Have you seen The Sting?
No, I haven't
That's
seen
another Robert Shaw movie.
Same guy?
He's the villain in that movie. It's almost like the same character.
Richard Dreyfuss in American Graffiti plays like kind of like a nerdy character, kind of. And he looks so much younger in American Graffiti, and that was 2 years before.
Did he shave?
Yeah, he shaved, and he had like this goofy ass like plaid. He was great in the movie. I loved him. He's also in Close Encounters, but I haven't seen that in a while. No secret here, collectible edition for Jaws.
Honestly, like
I kind of already do like have the collectible edition.
No, but this
here.
is like if you have like something above collectible, like this is like a landmark. Like if there was like a Mount Rushmore of movies,
Jaws would be up there.
Would be up there. Or Mount Rushmore.
It's not okay.
Like
this movie is not my favorite movie, but like it's so like I can't poke holes on it at all.
No,
like I can't. It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's like I can't. There's no flaws. The music is 50% of it. Like always, John Williams is.
Is this his first movie or?
It's his first collaboration with Spielberg. I believe he had an Oscar nomination beforehand already.
Scene stealer.
Out of the three movies, I say the little kid, Brody's little kid is to me is a scene stealer.
Mine's when they're in the ship. Comparing scars and
but like I'm saying, like who steals the show? Have you seen that he's in?
Well,
steals.
Quinn.
Well, Quinn. Yeah, I'm gonna hold you off of main cast members though.
In Jaws, you have the chief of police's sidekick. I don't think they say his name.
Oh, I love the little moment where he throws.
He throws like the rocks. He's like,
what are you doing? These are your people out there.
But I love the side characters. Like, there's a lot of people. I bet they just like are random people. Like they're not even like a lot of movies do that, but I feel like a lot of them are just random.
Any specifics besides the police officer?
We never mentioned the part. This is really not related, but when Hooper is looking at the dead body of like, I think her name's like Chrissy.
Yeah.
And he sees the body, and he like starts sweating. Like, can I get a glass of water?
Spielberg has some good sweaty shots.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's a lot in Raiders, and there's a lot in Temple of Doom.
Mm-hmm. Temple of Doom, the whole movie, they're sweaty.
Yeah, especially on that bridge. Also, I just want to shout out the coach from the 21 Jump Street. I think he's like when he's in the audience and he's like, "Fuck you, Doug."
Yeah,
that was kind of funny. And there's a little callback. He's eating Cool Ranch Doritos, and when they're eating the drugs, he's like, "Cool Ranch."
I like how we're not mentioning Indiana Jones at all in this recap.
No one steals a show. What kind of side character? You think Antonio Banderas, his side character,
I didn't know it was him until after the movie.
Or Toby Jones, Dobby, who is only in a flashback.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I really think they should have just took that character out. Have him be there, but not like in the movie. Like just say, "Oh,
Toby
he's
Jones?
died." Yeah, just say like, "Oh, because That opening scene was just a waste of time, in my opinion.
I mean, I just see Dobby the whole time. Like,
best fit is Quinn's turtleneck in his shack. It looks cozy.
Yeah,
It looks very cozy.
Very cozy. Very Scottish or Irish.
And of course, Harrison Ford's Indiana Jones outfit.
Well, yeah, but that's
like,
just
I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Best musical moment.
Well, I mean, John Williams.
Oh, I can't believe. Okay, what I like about the ending of Jaws, I'm gonna bring it up here. That would never happen in real life.
Yeah.
And like shooting a gas tank would not have it explode.
Blow it up.
But there's a segment in the documentary where he explains like, it's because you buy it. You believe that shark explodes at the end of it. And I love the moment when the shark explodes and you hear like, you don't hear like heroic music. It's like whimsical, kind of like
it's just
slow.
it kind of just
it's
ends.
Like, no, but when you see the shark like decay, and it's like it's like magical in a way.
Well, after they blow up the shark, they just go to land, and then there's really no like epilogue. You just.
But I love the little discussion they have at the end too, and Hooper, like the reveal that he's still alive is great.
Yeah.
He's like, "What time is it?" Oh no, he doesn't say what time is it. What day is it?
Day is it? Yeah.
Like Tuesday, I think. Yeah. It's great. It's great. My favorite musical moment is when the shark explodes and.
I mean, mine's probably a tie between obviously John Williams, like.
But specific.
Well, just like the
dun,
main
dun,
theme.
Dun, yeah.
Like you can't beat that. You know how infamous that is.
Yeah, but it's iconic. It's kind of like hard to like you pick that one, you know.
Yeah. Well, and then also like the original Indiana Jones theme.
Well, kind of cheap. It's a sequel. I'm not gonna.
This doesn't count.
And like, when did the score really feel triumphant to you?
No, it's just the score.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. There's no way they're bringing another one.
What if they do? What if like well, we don't know what's gonna happen in like 10, 20 years. It could be like a CG recreation of Harrison Ford. He can be long dead, you know. They might happen.
Well,
not to sound so dystopic.
I mean, honestly, this movie kind of felt like it was written by AI a little bit.
That's why I didn't like it. This felt dystopian, and not to sound hyperbolic, but like that whole opening scene just felt like it kind of made me sad about society. Like, what are we doing? Watching a recreation of a beloved character that we loved in the 80s, regurgitated to us in a not even fulfilling way, in my opinion, in a not as good way. What if you're gonna do it? You have to do it as good or better. Right. There's no point of doing it if you're not gonna do it as good or better. That's why I'm always harder on sequels and franchises and shit like that when they don't up the game.
Not that long ago, a young man named Peter Benchley wrote a book called Jaws. It was a bestseller. A film was made from the book. It too was called Jaws. It has already made more money than any motion picture in history. The scientific types are horrified, but Jaws has made sharks popular. Well, society being what it is, popularity means success, success means money, and guess what this report's about?
We can't keep them in stock. It's not just the Jaws book itself. There are the books on the making of the movie. There are 2 of those. And then the big hardback that we've had in stock for years. It's a Jacques Cousteau book. Cannot keep them in stock. I mean, and it's like all different age people, not just kids, but teenagers, older people. I find it really interesting. It's like the impact of the movie, was horrendous at first, but now people are really interested in the shark itself, not just something scary.
All right, Ciaffi, I have a little game for you.
Let's go. I finally get a game.
Since Jaws broke the record of all-time U.S. gross, passing Gone with the Wind when it came out, I want you to guess the top 10 movies. You will get that Derek Jeter.
Really?
Yes. Captain America bobblehead.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I should explain this more, but you have to get at least one completely correct, like in the right spot.
Yeah.
And at least 2 one off.
Okay.
To get it right.
All right. So 1 is Avatar.
Oh no! I'm gonna give you the movies, and you're gonna put them on.
Okay. That's easier than I thought.
Yeah. Jaws.
Oh shit. Okay. So it's probably the oldest movie on this list. Do I get to change that?
No, I'll tell you right now, it is not the oldest movie on the list. This is adjusted for inflation. It's adjusted, yeah.
Oh, adjusted. Okay.
Okay.
Now let's make it harder. Okay.
Oh, and this is only in the U.S. This is not worldwide gross.
So it's adjusted. I'm gonna get these wrong probably. I'm gonna put Jaws at 8.
Okay. Star Wars, the original.
New Hope.
Yeah, New Hope. Yep.
I'm gonna go. Cause I know the top 3 are easy. Cause I'm pretty sure I know what the top 3 are. So if we're adjusting to inflation.
Yeah. Think of American culture. Think of like what are the big American
I'm gonna
movies.
go 4 with Star Wars.
Okay. E.T. the extraterrestrial.
I think E.T. is a lot higher than I think it. I've heard this somewhere. I think E.T. is a lot higher than like someone would probably think.
Mm-hmm. You'll be surprised what are the top 10 movies of all time.
Wrong. I'm gonna go 3 with E.T.
3.
I know it's a lot higher than people would might think.
The Sound of Music.
Ooh. All right. That's Sound of Music. So I would say 1 because we're adjusting to inflation, but I don't think it's.
I'm gonna let you adjust. I'm gonna let you adjust afterwards too, if you can.
I'm gonna go for now. Sound of Music 5. This is probably not close, but yeah. For now, it might be higher, but.
The Ten Commandments.
Oh, is this what's his name?
I don't remember. I've never seen this movie.
The guy who's in Ben-Hur.
Charleston Heston.
Yeah.
That's the actor who plays Moses.
See, when you're adjusting to inflation, though, it's like it's gonna be a lot higher than like back then. I think it was like $1.
Yeah. Well, think about it now. Like just think about how much the ticket is now. It's just how much people go to the movies.
Okay.
Think about how don't think of it money wise. Think of it as attendance wise. How many people went to see this movie, and not how much money did it make.
I'm gonna go 10 for 10 Commandments.
All right, fitting. Titanic.
That's probably number 1, but I don't. But then that'd be like a giveaway. I'm gonna go 2
for Titanic.
Yeah.
All right.
I know it's up there, but the inflation is what's messing me up because this movie's only came out in '97.
Yeah.
But 10 Commandments is like the 50s.
Yeah, it's hard. It's harder.
All right, okay, I'm going.
But think of it. You only have to get 1 right, and 2 off.
Okay, so far, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I have any of them in the right place. But
all right. Dr. Zhivago.
What the hell is that? Isn't he a World War II guy?
It must be. It must be like a World War. It's like, it's Gone with the Wind for the '60s. I'm thinking it's because it's over 4 hours. It's almost 4 hours long. It's supposed to be a drama.
Gonna go 9. Travaglio, like the
Dr. Zhivago. So I don't know. Some Russian
Travaglio. Like those commercials.
Just put Dr. Z. Gone with the Wind.
All right, so this is the one that's the oldest. It's like 80 years old.
You'll be surprised. There's one older.
Older?
Yeah.
Well, this is why the inflation is messing me up because. Okay, I'm gonna.
There's one older by 2 years.
All right, I'm gonna go. Right for now, 7. This is not right, but I have a feeling like Gone with the Wind might be number 1, but I'm gonna go 7 for now because I can adjust it, right?
Yeah, you can adjust it later.
Okay, so I'm going 7 for now.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Ooh.
That was the one that was older than Gone with the Wind.
Didn't that come out the same year?
37 it came out.
This might be number 1.
30,
I feel like
39.
I'm gonna put this for number 1 right now. I'm probably gonna change it, but I'll put it for number 1 right now.
By the way, one of my favorite kids movies.
Oh,
I gotta
yeah.
say that. And then the last one. Ready?
Yeah.
One of your favorites, The Exorcist. The
Really?
Exorcist. Yeah.
That's surprising.
Huge
actually.
hit. I mean, you don't get the reputation of being the scariest movie of all time without,
This is a really interesting list. I mean, all I have open right now is 6, but I'm definitely gonna change it.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's really interesting. Nothing.
You want to know what 11 is?
Yeah.
Force Awakens.
Okay, I was about to say nothing from the 2000s, but then you have that.
Well, people don't go to the movies.
Yeah, but 2000, like nothing from 2000. It's only.
Yeah, that's
3 years
true.
ago.
I mean, the closest one from 2000 is Avatar, and that's at number 15. But
okay.
And then Endgame is right behind it at 16. You gonna switch anything?
Yeah, I'm definitely. I'm gonna.
Yeah, I would just flip it and just write another one.
Okay, can we rip this out?
Yeah, just rip it out.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna go. The doctor one. I'm going 10.
All right.
Dr. Zero. I would say Titanic number 9, but because it's so new compared to the other ones.
Yeah.
Because that's the newest one on the list, but to inflation. Oh, dude, this is really hard. I thought it was gonna be a lot easier. I thought it was gonna be a lot easier. All right, I'm gonna go. Maybe because I haven't seen it, but I'm gonna go 10 Commandments at number 9. The only
Which ones haven't you seen on here?
Dr. Tijaro and Ten Commandments. I've seen the rest.
Zhivago.
Yeah, I've seen everything else.
I haven't seen Sound of Music. That's
Really?
the only one I haven't
That's
seen.
a
No.
classic.
I recently just saw Gone with the Wind too.
It's so long. I mean, it's good.
Fucking boring.
Well,
Holy shit.
That movie had the first black actress
actress
ever.
to win, yeah,
Well,
to
even,
win act.
even actor. Like,
Yeah.
only anyone who was not white.
It's unfortunate. It's like a mammy role,
Yeah,
you know.
it's-
So did you
Oh,
you
so
have
yeah.
the list?
Yeah. So 10 Commandments, 8. See, now I'm thinking maybe the movies that are newer are gonna be lower on the list because inflation. I want to say Titanic, but I feel like that might be higher.
Go with your gut, man. How about you start from the top and go from the bottom?
Okay.
That's how I would do it.
All right. So 1, it's gonna be one of the 30s movies, either Gone with the Wind or Snow White, because of inflation. I'm just that's like what's in my head. I'm like, the older the movie, the higher the inflation rate. I might bite the bullet to Gone with the Wind number 1. Gone with Wind number 1. Okay. Number 2. I think number 2 is either like gonna be like Star Wars or Titanic, but wait, I'm gonna go back to number 8 for a second. Just I think number 8 is probably The Exorcist because that's I love that one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's not as like proclaimed, probably not as popular as like Star Wars. But again, this is like when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the 70s. This came out a little bit before Star Wars. I'll go with The Exorcist for now. I mean, not for now, but this is my final. I'll go with The Exorcist as my final for 8.
Number 8?
Yeah.
So you have
So right now
10 Commandments.
No,
you have Dr. Zhivago.
Yeah.
10 Commandments. Exorcist.
Yeah, and then number 1, Gone with the Wind.
Okay. So what would be number 7?
Yeah, this is when it gets a little tricky.
Or number 2? I don't know which
I
way.
don't know why, but Titanic is like giving me 7 vibes.
Okay.
It's giving me 7
7 vibes? Yeah.
I don't know why. It's like I'm linking it to 7. I think it's 7. I don't know if that's just me being like, I don't know. It might be number 1, but I'm gonna go with number 7. And then now number 6, I'm feeling Sound of Music might be number 6. Just, but we're also giving into account a lot of these movies were in theaters for like Star Wars was in theaters for what, a year?
Okay, I'll say right now, all these movies have had reruns,
Yeah.
like re-releases, because they've been so popular. Like these are literally the 10 most popular American movies of all time. If we're looking at just strictly attendance-wise, like who showed up to see this movie, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I think E.T. might be like top 3, because how like beloved than Star Wars too.
it's crazy. Spielberg is the only one to have 2 movies on the list.
Yeah, that's true. If Avatar made the list, James Cameron would
Well,
be twice.
if we're gonna go all, I never really, I don't understand why people like take the record seriously with worldwide, because there's so many different factors that happen. There's different markets that some movies don't get to release in certain countries, so they don't get the money from that country, so it doesn't go into their total. Only certain movies can be like huge successes, so that's why I only base the popularity on like US, you know. So that's why, and then adjusting for inflation also brings it up, and allows the older movies to be more in competition with not in competition, but it gives you a better factor to show you what was popular back then.
I think 6, I'm gonna go Sound of Music. I don't know, it's just giving me, again, I'm correlating number 6 with Sound of Music.
Yeah.
And then maybe Jaws at 5? Because I think E.T. and Star Wars are like, no, maybe Snow White at 5. No, I'm gonna go Jaws at 5.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna go Snow White at 4.
Interesting. Only animated movie too.
Yeah.
It's the first one. I don't know if you knew that.
First
animated movie ever made. Well, one of the first animated movies ever made. There was like this German movie.
Yeah, the same face from Pinocchio, like the fairy. I don't know what kind of.
It's rotoscope.
Rotoscope.
That's what they use.
It was really weird.
So cool. That's why Snow White in that movie looks so real.
Yeah.
Walks around wheel and like looks totally different than any other character in the movie.
Yeah, it's like the fairy from Pinocchio or whatever.
It's really cool. I love the technique they used it.
Yeah. All right, 3. I'm going Star Wars in number 2, and then 3 I'm going E.T. I don't think I got anything else.
So what's your list?
So from 10 to 1 or 1 to 10?
Do 10 to 1.
All right, so number 10, Dr. Z.
Okay.
9, 10 Commandments. But the reason why I put them so low is I never heard of them. I've never heard Dr. Z. I've heard 10 Commandments, but okay, that's number 9. 8, The Exorcist. 7, Titanic. 6, Sound of Music. 5, Jaws. 4, Snow White. 3, E.T. 2, Star Wars, and 1, Gone with the Wind.
Okay. So are you ready?
Oh, you go from 10 to 1.
At number 10, we have Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Okay.
Where'd you have that one at?
4.
Okay. Number 9, we have The Exorcist.
Oh, I was 1 off for that one.
1 off for that? Okay.
Yeah, I had that 8.
For number 8, Dr. Zhivago.
Okay, yeah, I had that at 10.
Number 7, Jaws.
I had that at 5.
Okay. 10 Commandments at 6.
Yeah, I had that at 9.
Titanic at 5.
I had that at 7.
E.T. at 4.
I had E.T. at 3. Okay, well, I actually might be close.
Yeah, you just gotta get one on.
You
just gotta get one on.
I got E.T. at 3, so wait.
So all you need to do right now, out of these 3,
yeah,
because that's weird. Your 3 that you haven't chosen haven't shown up yet. Did you have Sound of Music?
No, I had Sound of Music at 6. I had.
Oh, what's your top 3 right now?
E.T., Star Wars, Gone with the Wind.
Okay, so we know E.T. is out.
Okay, but that's 1 off though.
So all you need now is 1 exactly
1.
on.
Okay.
So here we go. Number 3 is Sound of Music.
Oh, I got the top 2. I mean, at least maybe one of them.
If they're off, you're.
Oh yeah.
If you're off, you don't get it.
That's true.
If you're off, you don't get it. You have to get one on exactly.
All right, so I just.
You ready?
Okay.
I'm gonna announce the number 1 movie. How about that?
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
And the number 1 movie of all time, adjusted for inflation in the U.S., is Gone with the Wind.
See, I had a feeling that the 30th movies were gonna be the highest because. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Oh shit, that's actually really cool. And I feel like I definitely heard that somewhere too. That Gone with the Wind was number 1, but I forget where.
Yeah. It's just it's. I think that's why the movie is remembered. It's like the biggest movie of all time. It's kind of like the Endgame. It's
the Endgame. Of the
no,
30s.
yeah, it might sound silly to compare it to Endgame, but to me, it's a movie that like it's a bloated melodrama that doesn't hold up.
It's not that. It's really boring. It's really not like obviously.
Like Wizard of Oz, that should be
that's
considered the better movie of that year.
Yo, what's up? What's up with what? Yo, 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 yo.
Look at Martin Scorsese fish. He's like a pimp.
Did he direct this movie?
It would be amazing.
Because he directed Hugo.
No, he didn't. He did not direct Shark Tale, but honestly, if Martin Scorsese's filmography had Shark Tale in it, I honestly think people would think less of him as a filmmaker.
Yeah, he directed Hugo though, which is animated.
Yeah. Well,
kind of.
Hugo is a kids movie.
Yeah.
And it's not animated. It's live action. It was 3D. It's better than Shark Tale objectively. Like this movie is quite
bad.
Like quite embarrassing. I love it nonetheless.
No,
especially the shrimp.
Please don't say hello to my. I think this is already, but
yeah.
Say hello to my little friend. Oh, it's over already. Damn.
Yeah. They had In the Club in the soundtrack. I didn't realize that.
Was that? Oh, that might be when he was like it had his own mansion.
Might have been. Yeah.
Remember, he has a mansion, and him and Martin Scorsese are like up high, down low.
Yeah, I do remember that. With the giant lava lamp.
Yeah.
This motion picture was detected under law of the United States and the other countries on the rise to go. I missed it. All right. The movie just ended. Oh, wait.
Oh, is this in the club?
No. This is the DVD bonus feature called Club Oscar. It's a Saturday Night Fever ripoff.
I don't know how.
I remember watching this as a kid. It was kind of like a Far, Far Away Idol.
Oh, yeah, Sam Cowell.
Yeah.
No,
he's got some good dance moves.
I always hated that because if you didn't pick a character that wasn't Shrek and Fiona, Donkey, Puss in Boots, and I think that's it. Everyone had like a different ending.
Yeah.
To pick the winner.
We're definitely do a Shrek podcast.
But if you picked like
look at Robert De Niro go. I don't know what he's dancing to. I would love to know what he's actually.
What song are they playing?
I'm curious.
Oh no, lie, baby, bye, bye, bye. In sync.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
MC Hammer up in here. Okay.
Hammerheads.
Hammerheads.
Ah, that's smart. Yeah. Oh, let's go, Jack Black. Okay, I want to say one thing. Jack Black, the king of like voice acting.
Oh yeah. Oh, him as Bowser.
Bowser.
Poe, yeah.
And people forget about this, but I think I like Lenny, you know?
21.